On today's Pardon My Take, we have a twofer for the people. We have Bill Burr, recurring guest, all-time guest, back on the show. He's got a new tour coming up. We chop it up with him about different things in the sports world, comedy. And then we have one of the greatest rugby players of all time. I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm just going to call him the Beast. Definitely tune into that. He will be in studio, so it was an awesome interview. I learned a lot about the game of rugby. We know PFT loves rugby, but it was great for anyone who doesn't know rugby or people who do know rugby. We also have NFL Week 7 picks. Tough slate, bad slate, but we find some good picks out of there. We have Fantasy Island Boys, because I'm an island boy. And then we have Fyre Fest of the week, a little old school part of my take this week because we're in Colorado, so it's just me, PFT, and Hank. And because we're in Colorado, you know what we're doing. We're drinking Coors Light. We are literally in Colorado. We're tapping the Rockies. We're here to watch the Broncos, and we're going to be drinking a Coors Light because Coors Light is the coldest beer out there. It's also the beer that you turn to when you need to chill, when you need to relax, when you need to take a load off and maybe relax after a long week of work. Sit on the couch, watch some football, go to the bar, watch some football. Well, guess what? That is Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. It's literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Perfect for a moment to unwind. So when you crack open a bottle of Coors Light, you can sit back and be like, the best. The best. The mountains are blue when we're in Colorado. They're also blue everywhere else. So go check it out right now. Coors Light is the one I choose when I need to unwind. So when you want to hit the reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light in the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. CoorsLight.com/take. We love Coors Light. I'm going to drink some Coors Light tonight. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by Coors Light. Today is Friday, October 22nd, and we are inside of Rado.
We're in Minver. We landed a couple hours ago. I got to admit, the altitude is already getting the best of me.
Uh-oh.
I took the elevator up here, which adds an extra, 30, 40 feet.
Easily.
I'm exhausted. I'm tired. That's not from not getting any sleep last night. That's from just being in the altitude. I'm going to just blame everything on the altitude while I'm here.
Absolutely. So we're in Colorado. We are taping before the Broncos play the Browns because we have an event tonight. Pup Punk is playing. We're doing a game watch for the Broncos and the Browns. So we're going to do a little choose your own adventure on tonight's game, which we looked at the schedule and we're like, hey, if there's ever a night that we could maybe tape beforehand, Teddy Bridgewater versus Case Keenum, everyone in the Browns hurt except Jarvis Landry's back. Both teams reeling, bad weather, wind, Hank.
Are you
wind.
Sure?
There was supposedly...
No, we got faked up by wind. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame. We won't get fooled again.
Supposedly wind.
And we're here in person. There's no wind.
But the game's going to be in Cleveland.
Oh, I thought that's why we're in Colorado.
That would make
that a
sense.
bit you just did?
No, that was real.
Okay.
Do you think I could kick a... You think I could kick
all right,
a field
all
goal
right,
30,
okay.
36 yards
Well,
out here?
I thought that was like part of the thing. Whatever.
Well, no, it was the only standalone game that we could find on the
that
Broncos
makes sense
schedule.
why they're underdogs. All right.
Okay, breaking news.
Welcome to the world's number one sports podcast.
It's in Colorado.
We did do this whole travel to Colorado for the Broncos
For the game.
Yeah, to watch the game. I do that often, though, where I will like spend an entire week being like, a game is one place, and then find out right before and be like, well, that sucks, because everything I thought is now reversed. But yeah, we're here in Colorado.
No wind here.
No one's here.
No wind
No
here.
wind here. No one's here on either team, except maybe John Elway. Hank and I had a fabulous lunch at John Elway's restaurant. No big deal.
Baker might be here. We don't know that.
Baker could be here.
He could be. I actually kind of like the fact that we're getting at least one Thursday night football game with a Case.
Yes.
Or we need a Case or a Blake playing in Thursday night football.
It's good to have Case Keenum back, although he did wear his backwards hat, so Colin Cowherd has erased him as well in terms of franchise quarterback. So, quick choose your own adventure. I bet on the Broncos because I'm rooting with a bunch of Broncos fans tonight. I hope the Broncos win. I'm going to say Broncos 19, Browns 17.
Ooh, that's a good score.
Yeah,
that is a
maybe
good
a
score for
safety.
this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Broncos 24,
Okay.
Browns 13.
Okay. Hank?
Broncos 35.
What?
Okay.
Browns 29.
Whoa.
Who's going off tonight for the Broncos?
Teddy Two Gloves.
I actually think that Hank is probably going to be the closest to being correct because it's
And
basically a law that whenever you think a Thursday night football game is going to suck, it ends up ruling.
It's always good. Now, what about this win factor that I keep hearing so much about? If you're used to playing in Colorado, you're used to playing in like the thinnest of all air. Isn't wind just really heavy air moving in one direction?
I'm looking up weather right
I'm
now.
not a meteorologist.
This is great too because none of this matters because when people listen to this,
Yeah, it'll be
already
over.
have been decided.
But we do know that tornadoes is real wind.
Tornadoes is 100% real wind. I'm looking right now. It says next hours is going to be somewhat wind 26 miles per hour.
That's pretty windy.
That's windy. That's windy. That is officially wind.
This this will be a great game to see if like how much an addition of a team leader who plays a position that's entirely reliant on another position can help out. Because Jarvis Landry, he's a dog. We know he's a dog. He wants
does add the
dogs
grit.
on that team. He adds the grit. If he can like will the Browns to victory, it'll be like I don't think that Case Keenum's going to go out there. Well, this is a Case Keenum revenge game. Let's not forget.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm worried about with betting on the Broncos is that Odell Beckham has like spent his entire time in Cleveland just talking to backup quarterbacks, being like, "You should be the starter, and when you're the starter, we're going to go off." So like because it's clear that he and Baker maybe aren't on the same page all the time. Is that fair to say? So maybe he's just been on the same page as Case, and Case Keenum just throws him bombs, and we see old school Odell. Which Odell Beckham, he's one of those players that he could play another 10 years, and I'll just be waiting for him to take a slant to the house because that's just what he did with the Giants.
He was
It
electric.
just hasn't been there.
I would like credit for when Big Cat just now said Odell has been talking to number 2. Mm-hmm. I didn't say anything. I think that earns me at least 1 or 2 Rick Riley jokes over the next 2
There
episodes.
you go. Although by saying it, you did
I
say
didn't
it.
know, but I didn't say it.
You
I said
acknowledged
that
it.
I didn't say verbal meme. I'm that kid that's trying to hold in a fart in class, trying not to talk about
With
Odell
his-
Beckham getting shit on his face.
Yeah, with his face like all red,
Yeah.
all the veins.
That's me.
That poor kid. We gotta get that kid on. We should do like inside the memes. All right.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, we should just have just different memes on. Remember Scumbag Steve? What's he?
yeah.
He's probably
He's dead.
doing someone's fucking life insurance.
He's
right
dead.
now.
Scumbag Steve's dead.
Yeah.
I want to meet the distracted boyfriend guy.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
that
sick.
guy. All right, so we're gonna talk about our preview. We're gonna do our entire weekend preview. Like I said at the beginning, it's old school PMT. It's just PFT, Hank and I in the room. What it was for the first couple of years. All the rest of the crew back in New York. We have their picks though. We have their Fyre Fest. But before we do our weekend preview, we got to do a couple quick stories real quick. So Ben Simmons is everything we've wanted and more. If you missed it, if you're living under a rock, Ben Simmons is now claiming a back injury. So Rodney Dangerfield from Caddyshack, he's saying, ow, my back. He also is claiming mental health, which, checkmate, you can't really say anything about that. So I'm going to bypass that. But
I'd like to applaud Ben Simmons for being so brave.
yes, exactly.
Would you like to agree?
Yeah, I would
Hank?
say it's okay to not be okay.
No,
Ben
Hank
Simmons.
says
Ben
KYS.
Simmons. You're saying he's faking it?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, checkmate, Ben Simmons. If you are faking it, total scumbag, but I'm not allowed to say that because I don't know. Right?
If he is faking it, he's actually setting mental health way back. So
Way back.
I certainly hope that he's not. You know what's funny is like this. I saw people comparing the Ben Simmons situation to the Jimmy Butler situation.
Totally different.
Because Ben Simmons could not show up and beat his entire team in practice if he wanted to. That's really the ace in the hole that Jimmy Butler had.
I keep saying it, and I feel like there's some people who still don't understand it. Like Ben Simmons is the reason why the Sixers have been held back. It's not that if Joel Embiid was holding out, it'd be a completely different scenario here because Joel Embiid is their best player by far and away.
Yeah, if Ben Simmons had any sense of humor, what he would do is he would actually practice his ass into shape, work on his three-point shot in the offseason, then start playing and start airballing every shot intentionally.
Whoa. Well, he wouldn't have to do it intentionally.
No,
but
I'm saying he should get good enough to the point where Doc's like, we got a new Ben. He's a definite starter right now. Like, we love what he's done in the offseason, and then get out there and start dunking on his own hoop.
It would be great, though, if that like spurred an idea. Like, what if he just came back and he just shot every time he touched the ball?
Yeah.
So didn't even have to practice his shot, but like he could then say, "You guys wanted me to shoot. Now I'm shooting. I suck at shooting. Which one is it?"
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. But either way, Daryl Morey, I think he has probably read Art of the Deal, because he said they are willing to have this last 4 years. The entirety of Ben Simmons' contract. He just anchored the negotiation. He said, we're not going to trade him unless we get a true piece back. And if this has to go on for 4 years, it will go on for 4 years. Here's to 4 years. I hope it does, because that would be hilarious. But Daryl Morey, good counter move to Ben Simmons saying he's dealing with mental health.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stacks of money, and who am I going to bet on? Ben Simmons' money running out first, or Michael Rubin's money running out first?
And he's not even the
He's
majority
like
owner.
4%.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
like Michael Rubin's bank account times 25.
Yes. Also, if you guys want to go to a game this year, I got an email from Michael Rubin's assistant inviting me to a game. It felt personal.
Oh, really? I got a DM from Lil Uzi Vert.
So yeah, it felt personal, but we should pick a game and all of us go.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm
I mean,
in.
it was a mistake for him to have. I think what Michael Rubin's assistant does is send it to anyone who's ever gone to a game with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was a mistake, because like, pick any game you want to go to. We should pick like the Lakers and be like, can we have 10 floor seats, please?
We should go, and Hank should wear a free Ben Simmons shirt.
Yes.
You should be rooting for Ben Simmons to come back, actually, Hank.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Ben Simmons' biggest fan.
Shout out Michael Rubin, though. We like him. All right, so that was story number one. Story number two is, Hank, you were a blown Laz Diaz pitch away from being in the World Series, and now the Red Sox seem to be maybe dead.
Where's the panic button at?
Tie. It's riding
high?
high. Riding high.
I
don't mush the team. There's a lot of people that listen to this podcast that maybe don't listen the day after. They listen a few days after, and I've been getting tweets like today and yesterday being like, hey, just listening to Wednesday's show. Thanks for mushing the Red Sox.
I shout out, by the way, that group of people, because I actually love those people. The like Tuesday commenting on the Monday show.
Mm-hmm.
I love those people. I don't know what's going on in their life that they listen a full day after, but there is like a full group of people that I notice.
Yeah.
So whoever's listening to this right now on Saturday, happy weekend.
Well, I would like to hear from the people that are listening to this on Monday.
Yeah.
After NFL. You know who those people are? Those are people whose teams lost over the weekend.
No, those are perverts.
Perverts?
Because they're listening to us be wrong about everything.
Yeah.
That's like like the Pick'em. The Pick'em has like the most views it has is always on Sunday morning, because people want to listen to how many picks we got wrong. Perverts.
But that's also people that maybe their teams lost this weekend, and so they want to deflect and they want to feel mad at somebody else, not their team.
Yes.
Listen to us be wrong about everything. Then it was our fault that your team lost.
Yes. All right. So back to it, Hank. Nice deflection there yourself. Red Sox dead live. I actually did think they were going to win the World Series, and that pitch. This is my point about robot umps, because robot umps became the trend after that. It was a blown strike 3 call. Like he should have been a strike 3. And he was bad all night for both teams. But I think no one has any pity for either side. But either way, robot umps, while in the idea of them is good, the fact that you can't then complain about things forever sucks. So like right now, I think that Red Sox fans can realistically say they would have won this series if it wasn't for Laz Diaz. If you have a robot ump, and you lose the series, you have no one to blame.
That's fine. That's
okay,
better.
all right. But what if you lost it just regular? Like, no one wants to lose. It's like the old, like, don't ever try too hard, because then if you fail, it's like, well, you tried your hardest and you failed. Like, don't ever have a robot decide who's the better team, because if you're not the better team, then you can't blame a robot.
Well, I also think that if you switch over to the robot umps, that you can still get mad and be like, we should never have taken the human element out of the game.
Yeah. But either way, it does. I'm going to say it, Hank. It sucks for you right now. I feel some sympathy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to win Game 6, and then Game 7, anything can happen.
There you go.
Yep.
And then we're taping it before the Braves Dodgers game. This will be all-time Atlanta curse / Big Cat mush. But I think the Braves are going to kill the Dodgers tonight.
Your confidence in the Braves
is bad.
You should never be confident in the Braves.
Yeah, but maybe that's...
Big Cat came up like, 30 minutes earlier. Yeah. Like we've been sitting in the room, and he's just been talking about the Braves. Like, makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Never be confident. Never be confident at all in Atlanta sports.
But that's the point.
Just a general rule of thumb.
But what happens when a noted terrible shit for brains gambler, lifetime loser in myself, gets confident about Atlanta sports? Maybe that's the perfect storm.
You think to reverse it?
Yeah,
I think you're
like
just
if I start believing, that's two negatives equal a positive.
I think that you're the last person that would ever believe in him. Like the actual Atlanta Braves fans,
I believe
do not believe in this team. They think that you're being a sucker because you have not experienced the same
Right.
heartbreak that they have.
But I'm saying this is now the perfect storm. The Braves are in the World Series. Congratulations to the Braves.
I'm rooting for the Braves.
Anyone?
I'm rooting
No?
for the
Clap
Braves.
for me. Clap
I'm
for
rooting
me.
for them.
Clap
I'm
for the
not
Braves.
going to do that
They're
to
in the
Atlanta.
World Series.
I'm not going to do that to Atlanta.
This is gonna suck so bad.
not going to do it to them.
People are gonna be so mad.
I want the Braves to win because Max isn't pitching. Trey Turner's hurt, right?
Yeah.
So the baby Nats.
Yeah.
they're not involved in
Max
this right
has
now.
a dead arm. Possibly.
Dead arm. Yeah, that's tough. So Joe Kelly, you said, is starting.
Yeah, it's going to
And
be a
then
bullpen game.
Bullpen game, which I love. I don't know. I always got in my head since I was a kid that starting pitchers and relief pitchers and then closers all play completely different positions in baseball. Turns out they're the same exact position.
Correct.
Just some guy along the way was like, you feel like a middle reliever to me. And then for the rest of that guy's career, he's stuck throwing middle relief.
Right.
But if you have like 6 decent pitchers that can all go for an inning or two, why wouldn't teams do this more frequently?
Yeah, the Rays do it all the time. I think the Dodgers are doing it out of necessity tonight. I think if they had a healthy Max Scherzer, they'd probably be more pumped.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, so that was our baseball talk. Again, apologies to Braves fans if I was wrong. But I think, you know what? No, I'm not going to apologize. You're in the World Series. I won. I made a responsibly large wager on the Braves to win Game 5, and they went out and they proved me right.
So tonight is actually National Sports Day. I just made up that holiday, but it should be National Sports Day because you have every major sport playing tonight and you have college football playing tonight.
Yeah. What wouldn't we save it for? Oh, I guess, yeah, because, you're right. Yeah. So Saturday and Sunday, don't have the.
Great day of sports day.
Great day of
Enjoy
sports.
it. Hope you guys had a great time last night watching your Atlanta Braves make the World Series.
Dallas clap. Yeah. Good job, Braves. All right, last thing before we get to our weekend preview, just a quick word about our good friend Coach O, who I hope we have on the show at some point. But we have to call out the fact that The Athletic had a retraction about the pregnant story. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they had to. So there's a story.
Contraction.
A contraction. The story was that Ed O hit on a woman at a gas station who was pregnant, and also her husband was a high-ranking LSU official. The editor's note that was just slid in there, like on Wednesday, said this story's been updated to reflect that the woman Ed Ogeron encountered at a gas station was not pregnant, as previously reported. The Athletic regrets that error. That's fucked up. You can't do that.
That's an all-time ricochet shot at that woman because,
Yes.
you're never supposed to say to a woman like, hey, congrats, when are you due? On the off chance that they're not pregnant. This got published in a national article, spread across all the 7 seas, so everyone now thinks having an apology for calling you pregnant in a written piece of journalism, that's bad journalism.
And it's also, Coach O we've made some jokes, hand up, because there have been funny jokes. And we love the guy. He knows that we love him. We know that everyone at LSU knows that we love them. But people who ran with this story and then they just like, oh yeah, sorry, we fucked up. Hopefully we have Coach O on at some point to help clear the air on some of these stories. And I think I'm moving past the jokes, and I'm just going to keep reminding people 2019 is one of the best college football teams of all time, coached by Coach O.
And the story continues to evolve about the girlfriends at practice.
That was wrong.
Now it's like their kids were running drills at practice, and now you've got guys on the team being like, no, this never happened. But even if it was true, which it wasn't, if it was true, wouldn't that just mean that Coach O was recruiting harder than ever? He's like dating the moms of the kids that he's recruiting and then bringing them to practice and putting them in drills. That sounds to me like a good coach.
Either way, I never thought any of this stuff was bad. I thought that Coach O probably, the reason why he's getting fired is because SEC fans are crazy and he had 2 bad years, and that's just how it works in the SEC. And I think Coach O is probably at peace with that. The other stories, well, funny when they were thrown out there, and I love Coach O to the point where I want to believe every Coach O story because they're all I view them all as positives, not negatives. Either way, that retraction came out, so I think that's bullshit by the Athletic. I've got my eyes on you, Athletic.
Guess what? Banners fly forever.
Yep, that's true. Flags fly forever. Coach O, whenever he's ready to come on the show, we're gonna have him on the show, and we will address it all, and he can just be like, yeah, none of it's true.
Head on.
Make us love him even more. All right, let's get to our weekend preview. Before we do that, a quick word from our friends at ZipRecruiter. Think about the major life-changing moments you've had, like buying your first car, getting married, having your first kid, or moving to a new city. Of course, there's also landing that big job you've been going after, which can bring new opportunities for growth, hopefully a higher salary, new coworkers, new friends, awesome new career achievements. Whether you're trying to get your first real job out of college, achieve a new title, or land your dream job, you should go to ZipRecruiter.com/take, because ZipRecruiter makes it easy to find the next job that could change your life. How ZipRecruiter acts like your personal recruiter. So when you create a free profile, ZipRecruiter starts working for you. They send you jobs that match your skills and experience. So go right now. Sign up for free on ZipRecruiter.com/take. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/take right now to sign up absolutely free and put ZipRecruiter to work for you. Okay, week 7. It's not great. It's not great. We've got bye weeks, and we've got some games that look on paper, if you're just going off of spreads, look like they could be big-time blowouts.
But this is when football sneaks up on you.
This is when football sneaks up on you, and so it's the combination of, listen, Sunday Night Football, but we've had a really good run of Sunday Night Football games that it feels like everyone's very excited for, minus week 1 when the Bears played. This one feels like the Colts and the 49ers feels like maybe a little air out of the Sunday Night Football, and it's supposed to be bad weather. But either way, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Jaguars are all on bye. Like, just on paper, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Vikings, and Chargers are 4 of the funnest game teams. And then you add Big Ben.
And Steelers, yeah.
Yeah, and you add Big Ben. So 5 out of 6 of the teams, and even watching Urban lose is fun. So, like, 6 teams that are all very fun and make Sundays fun are all on bye.
Do you ever do the thing when the season starts where you look at when your team's bye is and you're like, that's a good position for a bye week right now?
Oh, yeah.
6 is too early now. I used to think it was like almost perfect, but now, especially with the 17th game, like I would not want, you know what the perfect week is? If you have a week 11 bye.
I was going to say 10.
11 is the perfect week
10.
for a bye because you kind of get over that hump a little bit. And that point, you get to gear up for the stretch run.
It's like week 11 bye is like waiting till 1:30 to eat your lunch.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like, oof, when I get back from lunch, I only got 3 hours
You're basically
left.
done already at
you
that
just
point.
hold out. And then a week 4 bye is like when I sometimes will eat lunch at 9:45 in the morning.
Yep.
And just be like, fuck.
Week
what
11
do I do
bye,
now?
if you had to pick one, it's absolutely this year. It's week 11 bye. Week 6, they should absolutely space out. You can't give us like the Cowboys and the Steelers to have the same bye week. That's not right.
And the Vikings, I don't like the Vikings, but they objectively play fun games.
Yes.
They're always in it like the last second. So that sucks. Either way, let's get into the games. Let's do the picks. We'll fill in Jake and Billy and Liam's picks for the Drive to Survive, or what are we calling it?
Yeah, Drive to the 405.
Drive to the 405 to live and die in LA. Hank, want to start with your favorite? Your favorite?
Let me guess, Hank. Because you've been riding these Boston parlays pretty hard.
Not going great, but yeah, I have been.
Yeah?
Go ahead. Take a guess.
The New England Patriots.
No.
Rivalry game, Billy versus Hank.
Yeah.
It's going to be great, which, by the way, there was some talk today about them fighting in Rough and Rowdy.
There was.
Was
The talk was coming from my mouth,
You know
and
who
Hank said no.
You know who I really miss right now, honestly? I miss Jake.
Yeah, I miss Jake, too.
I miss Jake so
I
much.
miss Jake and Bubba.
Yeah. Big time.
1, 2, either or, no particular order.
I don't play favorites.
Yeah, right.
With my favorite children.
But yeah, there was some talk on the plane.
Yes.
About Billy versus Hank.
We'll
in
address
Rough and
that
Rowdy.
later.
Again, just from me.
Kansas City Chiefs -5. Ooh. Titans coming off a letdown spot. Chiefs looking good. Looked good in the second half last week. I think this is where they start to turn the tide and start to re-enter that conversation of the Chiefs are back.
I actually agree with that pick.
I like it too for the exact same reasons. That felt like an emotional victory.
How old is Derrick Henry?
26.
27. I thought for some reason he was a little bit older. He's one of those guys. You know what? Another one. How old is Cooper Kupp?
Ooh, Cooper Kupp, 28.
28 is right. For some reason, I saw a stat where like Cooper Kupp has better stats than all these unbelievable receivers, which that's more modern NFL. By their 60th start, and I was like, Cooper Kupp's only had 60 starts. Feels like he's been around forever.
I feel like when there's a white guy who's a receiver in the NFL, you hear his name and you're like, it sticks in your head because you're like, oh, that's the white receiver that's out there.
Yes.
So it's just through sheer mentioning of his name, you feel like he's been around forever.
Yes. Are you worried at all, Hank, about Taylor Lewan being on the Bills?
No, I'm not. I'm
All
not.
right. Okay, so that's your pick, Chiefs. I like that pick. I do think we're due for, although the Chiefs kind of did it in the second half against Washington football team, but we're due for a Chiefs like fuck shit up game.
Yeah, clown.
Yeah,
We're on clown watch.
especially off a very emotional win for the Titans. I like it.
We need to find out if A.J. Brown's butt is better yet. I haven't heard an update on that.
That's true.
Keep
All
me
right.
posted on the diarrhea game.
Your favorite? This is actually that's probably the best game in the 1 o'clock window. Actually, maybe Bengals Ravens, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay with. We're going to do interim again. I think that we have
Rich
to.
Bisicchia.
I think Bisicchia. I'm gonna stay betting on the Raiders until proven otherwise.
Have to.
I loved what he showed me last week. The guys came out, they played hard. So yeah, I'm not gonna jump off that yet. I feel like the Eagles. I'm not impressed with the Eagles so far this year, even in the times that they've played well. I feel like it's like always fleeting when they put together a good drive that ends in a touchdown. I'm looking for the flag 20, 30 seconds after the touchdown scored because I just can't believe that they're actually scoring touchdowns.
I also would like to see a spray chart of Jalen Hurts passes this year because I think he might lead the league in passes thrown out of bounds.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, I feel like he does lead the league in that.
What passes that he throws out of bounds?
That end up out of bounds.
Yes, that land out of bounds. Yes,
that
for
land
sure.
out of bounds.
Because he does the thing where he scrambles back into the right, and then throws 2 yards past the sticks.
Speaking of which, we have a new stats guy who hit me up. He will probably do this for us. I'm going to pull it up right now. Shout out Jeff Henderson. He made a chart for us all-time sad field goals. So it's pretty sad looking at it. Like in 2005, the San Francisco 49ers were losing to your Washington football team. They were losing 52-7 with 4 minutes left, and they kicked a field goal.
I remember that game. Sean Taylor sprained his ankle in that game, had an interception. At that point, I was like, Joe Gibbs is back, baby.
Yeah. The Jets were losing to the Patriots in 2016, week 16, down 41-0 in the fourth quarter, and they kicked a field goal.
Ooh.
That's a sad field goal.
Very sad.
That's a very sad field goal. Either way, he hopefully will find us Jalen Hurts throwing out of bounds. Rich Bisicchia, by the way, there's multiple phases to the interim head coach. I think we have graduated. I think we're very close to graduating to phase 2, which is a distinct – we actually are a good team, and this guy's really like, this is the guy. Mm-hmm. I think we're close to Mark Davis. Like, if they win 1 or 2 more games, Mark Davis, maybe 4-year contract.
It's like Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke, 4-year contract.
He's a guy.
Yeah, Rich Bisicchia, named head coach. Then next year he starts 0-5 and gets fired.
It could be. I think that if he wins 3 more games, he'll get an interview. Mm-hmm. Because I think interim head coaches are technically a minority status because there's only one of them, so that should satisfy the Rooney Rule.
Correct.
But he'll get an interview at least.
Italian.
Also Italian,
and
yes.
Maybe not pervert.
Yeah, well, if you're Italian, that does satisfy without a doubt.
Right. It satisfies the pervert and the
Italian.
Italian.
No, if you're Italian but you're not a pervert, then you're a minority of an
Italians.
Italian.
Yes,
then
that's
that
true.
counts.
That's actually a fact. All right, my favorite is going to be the Falcons. Falcons -2.5. Now listen. They're off a bye. Dolphins have to travel back from England. They're playing right away. There's a lot of Tua fans out there. They're very, very loud. All I'm going to ask is, don't you think that the Dolphins might not be sold on Tua if there's this much smoke about Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, that's
don't
a good
you
point.
think?
Well, Tua's an island boy.
And an island boy.
I might have to become an island boy too because they're talking about moving him to the football team.
Yeah, which I did see your friend JP Finley did say that was a hard no, but we know that means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's a hard no. Okay, but that can turn into a very hard yes.
Yes, or even a harder no, which is a yes.
Yes,
yeah.
I think that it's like 50% that Tua ends up. Now, maybe what they're saying is they're not actively pursuing Tua. But if Tua gets offered to them for the right price,
so
they can't turn him down.
What would be the plan for Tua to get benched for Ryan
Fitzpatrick
again?
Yes. Well, yeah. I've convinced myself to the point where I now believe in changes of scenery for a quarterback. I'm like, all Tua needs is a fresh start, change of scenery. And then I started thinking, what are the other quarterbacks that a change of scenery has actually worked for? And the only ones I'm thinking, Ryan Tannehill. Miami,
yeah.
Right? Tom Brady. Great change of scenery. Now he's a better quarterback than ever down in Tampa Bay.
That's a fact.
What's that, Hank?
I said,
you just kind of screamed. And then Matt Stafford, he benefited too.
Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't that many change of scenery guys, but
Brett Favre.
I'm starting.
Played
Yeah,
great
Brett
with
Favre.
the Jets.
Exactly. So I'm talking myself into him. Andy Dalton became a nicer guy with the Chicago Bears.
Aaron Rodgers next year on the Steelers.
Yep.
That's going to be a great change of scenery.
for him.
I root for it and I hope for it.
I hate left-handed quarterbacks, as we've discussed. I think
Yep.
the left hand is the devil's arm. But at this point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We've tried
Wow.
right-handed quarterbacks, so why? And they haven't worked out.
That was quick.
Oh, real quick.
From Taylor Heineke's the guy to Tua can't be worse.
No, I'm not necessarily Taylor. I'm saying we've tried a lot of right-handed quarterbacks.
I know, but that
hasn't worked out.
We've gone from the career arc of Taylor Heineke, the guy was a 10-day marriage. You were basically Chris Humphries and Kim Kardashian with Taylor Heineke.
No, what I did with Taylor Heineke, that's a microcosm of every Taylor Heineke game.
Right.
Where it's like really good, then really, really bad. So
Yeah.
I'm just a prisoner of the moment. What can I say? But you do the same thing.
No, I do too. Yes, but it's funny. I mean, when I do it, you pointed out it's funny when you can step back and watch it, and you're like, wait, is that how? I do the same thing, but it looks dumb.
Yeah,
when someone else
listen,
does it.
it's incredibly dumb.
Yeah. Oh no, I know I do the same thing, and it looks very dumb when I do it. Hank, your underdog.
That was Liam's favorite as well, the Falcons.
Okay.
My underdog is, I think I've been doing them all year. I'm going to keep doing it until they win. I think they're going to win this one outright.
The Detroit Lions?
The Detroit Lions.
Wow.
Okay.
Plus,
are you sprinkling money line?
I'm sprinkling the shit out of the money line. Heavy sprinkle. Heavy pour on the money line.
Who's
Salt Bay on the money line.
Who's it more of a revenge game for? I think Jared
Jared,
Goff.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Although Matt Stafford did have to 9-10 years with the Lions is.
It's not really
basically
revenge,
prison.
though. It's more like it's almost going to make him appreciate LA even more.
Yeah.
Whereas Jared's coming for blood.
Yeah.
I do think that Sean McVay is going to be very intimidated in this game by Dan Campbell. Sean McVay. Dan Campbell is already living rent-free inside of Sean McVay's head, to the point where I would be afraid to bet against the Rams this week because he's going to pull out all the stops.
Well, and Dan Campbell very well could get to the game and be like, Jared, is that the guy who hurt you? And he'd be like, yep. And he just goes up and just fucking punches through his skull.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see that, except for not maybe through his skull.
No, through his skull.
A fist fight.
Through his skull. All right, good underdog.
Jake has that as well.
Jake has that as well.
Too many
We'll
points.
go over all those at the end. PFT.
Okay, my underdog, I actually also have the Lions.
Let's go.
I was playing devil's advocate, but I've got the Lions. It's right here on my
Whoa.
sheet.
So many points.
My entire thing is it's so many points. It's a lot of points. They pay the Lions. They're professional players too. They get paid to play in the National Football League. They're big boys. They're not. It's not like if you look at two mismatched high school teams playing against each other, or even in college, you're like getting off the bus. That team's way better.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions have big guys that play
Yes.
football for them.
They got guys too.
I'm counting on the big guys on the Lions being better today than the big guys on the Rams, or at least not 15.5 points worse than them.
All right, I'm going to probably regret this one, but I am going to take the Bengals plus 6.5 against the Ravens.
I don't hate it.
This is a good game, though, because I'm very excited for this game because it essentially decides, if the Ravens do again what they did to the Chargers, to the Bengals, they're like, all right, now it's the AFC. Like the AFC, it's the Ravens. You know what I mean? But if the Bengals can keep this close or possibly win this game, they are officially elevated to a good team, playoff team. And I think they're right there. I think their defense has played very well.
The Bengals are going to be a team that you're going to be shocked to see in the hunt graphic.
Yeah.
Until maybe the very last weekend.
So I'm taking the Bengals. I think the Bengals can keep this close. I don't know about win, but they can keep it close.
Two coaches when you combine them, have an exactly average size collar.
Yes, that's true. All right, Hank, you're over.
My over is going to be Sunday Night Football.
Oh, do you know about the weather?
Are we doing this again?
I'm just asking.
I don't.
I'm trying
the
to
answer
help my
is
friend.
the answer is no.
Jesus Christ, I'm just trying to be a friend.
Oh, you know what? This is going to be another one of those games at San Francisco where Collinsworth does the slide, and it's going to be bright as hell outside. I hate that. I hate it when Sunday Night Football starts out when it's daylight. It's not Sunday afternoon. It's not Sunday boozy brunch football. It's Sunday night football.
Okay, you might be lucky, though, because it might be dark, overcast. I'm looking at it right now. Let's find it. 10-day weather.
By the way, I was dead on my weather. You guys haven't given me credit for the wind
I
being
gave
a
you
non-factor.
You were very right about the wind.
I gave you credit. There was a gust. It was 25.6, so I didn't have to suck your dick. All right, Sunday night, potential for flooding rains Winds southwest 10 to 20 miles an hour. Chance of rain 100%. Rainfall may reach 1 inch.
Flooding rains doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good. You can pick whatever you want. I'm trying to help you. All I know is that I had the visualization when I was made aware of the weather. Just think for a second of Carson Wentz covered head to toe in mud.
But wait,
that's where he thrives.
The over is 44.
Right.
So it's pretty low.
Right. But I'm just saying, Carson Wentz covered in mud because he's got the white uniform on. Like, I'm talking about fourth play of the game. He's already been sacked. He's got like maybe he looks like a half moon cake where half of his body is just covered in mud.
I actually think he's going to get a shitload of turf stuck in his face mask. That's what's going to happen with it. And you know what? I don't think that his linemen like him enough to come over and pick the turf out of his face mask. He's going to have to be doing it by himself.
Yes.
Or like walk over and get the guy that catches the ball for the quarterbacks when they get their arms warmed up. That guy's going to have to pick it out.
All right, I'm switching. Over 43. Panthers, Giants.
There we go. All right, Hank, can you also officially...
I don't like what you just did, though.
Yeah.
Okay, then keep it.
No.
Hank was going to ride with a San Francisco over.
Yeah,
and
do
you
it.
took it away from him.
Can you also put a mental note? I think I picked the Colts in the advisors, but that was when I didn't know there was rain, and I had the visualization of Carson Wentz being completely covered head to toe in mud, so please switch that for me.
But here's another visualization.
Just on the graphics, just say Niners.
Debo Samuel covered in mud means that he's scoring like 4 touchdowns. Just running through everybody.
That's true. So please, can you just have a graphic that says he switched to the Niners? Stamp it on my forehead?
I guess.
Okay, thank you. I made the official switch just now.
All right, we're going to put in that audio. This is going to be crazy if you watch Advisors.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
we're going to put the audio that you just said into the show.
Perfect. All right, PFT, you're over. So your over is Carolina, New York.
Yeah.
My over is going to be... My over is going to be the Washington football team and the Panthers or Packers.
Every week,
Green Bay and the artist formerly known as the Redskins.
Every week we go into this Friday show, and I'm so confident, and then I always end up like 1-5, and I'm just like, what went wrong?
You talk yourself out of everything.
Yeah. Wait, so this over, I like it.
I love this over. I think that both defenses kind of stink. The Packers defense shows up occasionally, but I'm still not a believer in them. And yeah, Aaron Rodgers coming off an emotional victory.
It's true.
Against the Bears.
It's
and
true.
I was thinking about it, since I'm an owner of the Packers, I also now kind of own a piece of the Bears.
Do you think do the Packers own Aaron Rodgers? They're just leasing him.
No, so I have equity in Aaron Rodgers. I have stock in him, but
Yes.
I don't owe him. But I'm banking on some points this weekend, and I have an announcement to make about my Washington football team fandom.
Oh, okay, yes, please.
So last week I talked to you guys about the Sean Taylor thing.
Yep.
And it pissed me off because what they ended up doing with it is they announced it 4 days before the jersey retirement.
Sus.
Which sounds sus. It's what they've done.
Sus.
Here's what sucks. It's what they've done for every single marketing initiative that they've done this year. Like when they had Breast Cancer Awareness Week earlier in October, they announced it on that Monday or that Tuesday.
Yeah, that's different.
But
than
my
Sean
problem
Taylor.
is Sean Taylor is not a theme week.
Correct.
Sean Taylor's a man who died, who got shot, who meant a lot to Washington football fans. When you denigrate his memory in the interest of a marketing initiative, you lose me.
Yes.
You lose me entirely.
So you're done.
So my announcement is I am officially on my last straw.
Oh, no.
With the Washington football team. Last straw. In fact, I went out, I bought a straw. I have a straw.
How thick?
Well, it's a normal size straw, and I also bought a Camel cigarette. So it will be, I don't know if it should be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Or I think it's just a straw. I have a straw. I own a straw now, and it's my last one with the football team.
What? They must be nervous.
They're very nervous.
Because this
at
is
the highest levels of the
last
organization.
Straw. The last straw.
The last straw with the Washington football team.
Can they get 2 straws back?
I don't. Yeah, they can improve their straw quantity.
Their holdings.
Yes, they can. But right now, they are literally on their last straw.
Damn.
If
threatening.
anything bad happens,
yeah,
to the point where I lose faith in this organization again.
What?
What, Hank?
Yeah, what else could they do? That
Hank,
would
I'm
be
bearing
worse than Sean Taylor?
my soul to you guys.
Your only good player's dead, and they fucked up his retirement ceremony.
Yes,
there's
there's one more
there's
straw.
nothing else they could do.
Hank, in their defense, the team has been such shit for the last 30 years. We don't exactly have a lot of practice retiring jerseys of good players.
Straw.
Hasn't really been a problem for us.
Listen, last straw.
Last straw. I'm on my last straw.
You know what?
I am on my last straw.
PFT, Am I allowed to join you?
Yeah, you on the last straw?
I'm
too?
on the last straw.
Hank?
I'm on the last straw with the Washington football team.
Do we have to get more straws?
Yes, we do. We have to have 3 straws.
So now we have.
I'm joining you in your fight.
We're on our last straws.
I will wait for your word, and I will snap my straw.
I'm already out on them until they pick a fucking mascot.
So you're without a straw.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're looking. I can give you my straw.
Yeah. Once they get a mascot, though, I'll straw it up.
Okay. All right.
I'll be like
so we got 2 straws
seal.
out of the 3 of us here.
I'm pissed. I'm angrier than I've ever been.
Same.
At the Washington football team.
Agreed.
Yeah, I am. Why are you laughing about this, Hank?
Yeah, dude,
this
I'm
is
being
serious.
a good friend
Hank,
right
you've
now.
won a million Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Why are you mad? Why are you laughing at me?
It's called being a good friend. If PFT's on his last straw, I'm on my last straw.
Yeah.
Now you can't leave Washington football team because you got both of us mad.
I'm actually starting to think that Hank likes the fact that we're on our last straw.
No, you just keep getting cheated on. You're like, well.
Yeah, no, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
no,
it's okay. They just said
this time it will be different.
They just got to work. They got a long work retreat.
I probably wasn't doing a good enough job as a fan to make them be loyal to me.
You know what? I got to lose 10 pounds, and then they'll love me back.
Okay, so yeah, I'm taking the over.
Okay. All right, my over. I'm gonna go with Bears Bucks. I have. Every week is the same for me, where Monday I'm down in the dumps, and then by the end of the week I start talking to myself and figuring out ways the Bears could possibly win this game. Now, I don't think they're going to win this game, but I have told myself the Bucs secondary sucks. This will be Justin Fields' coming out party. Now, can they stop the Bucs? I do not know, but the over.
Okay.
So what is it?
47.
Boom.
I'm on the opposite side of that.
Okay, you're on the under.
Yeah, I just think like Nagy he's got the Bucs number.
Yeah, that's true.
He does.
Yeah.
So I
Mitch
think
Trubisky had his best game, 6 touchdowns against the Bucs. We beat the Bucs last year.
that was when it was 65 degrees exactly.
Yep. We own the Bucs.
Yeah. So I think that they're gonna frustrate Tom.
Okay.
The Bucs are still gonna win, but he's gonna be frustrated after the game.
But Justin Fields gonna have a coming out party.
Maybe coming out party.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're under.
That is my under.
Thanks for coming out,
perfect.
Justin Fields.
Perfect. So you guys both have that under.
Yeah.
All right.
Good call, Hank.
My under is going to be. I'll do the Patriots Jets minus under 42.5.
It's probably safe bet.
I mean, I don't know. I think Zach Wilson. I think the Patriots are going to be like if they could play the Jets every week, it'd be great. Because they're going to make
worried.
Zach Wilson look bad again.
I'm concerned.
You are.
Yeah.
Oof.
So the good news for you, Hank, is I think that Belichick went into this season making a very obvious decision that this year it's a development year. And so the way that he's coaching right now, I saw a stat the other day. I don't have it in front of me, but he is basically the most conservative coach in the NFL when it comes to fourth down, when it comes to punting, when it comes to deciding what plays to call on third down,
Throwing the ball.
Yeah, he is the most conservative of all the coaches. So like that tells me that Belichick, obviously he's got enough cred in the organization where he won't be like, on the hot seat this year, where he can have these developmental years with Mac Jones. What?
That's good.
He's right.
I am
making sense.
No, yeah.
I'm making sense where he's going to
I
have
haven't thought about it like that.
He's going to have like at least 2 or 3 years to bring him along. But he's swung so far in the opposite direction.
Are you guys going to bet the under in the Bucs Bears game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the opposite of that. I'm going to switch my over. I'm going to do 49ers Colts over 44. Okay, I'll stay with the Bears. All right, the picks from the other guys. So let's see. Jake has the Packers as his favorite. Detroit, too many points. He has the over in the Bucs Bears with me, and he has Atlanta, Miami under 47.5. Liam has Falcons as his favorite. Giants as his underdog. Bengals, Ravens over. Chiefs, Titans under. Now, Liam, I don't know if this is maybe a color blindness thing, but he has the Chiefs, Titans under 47. So I'm going to give him the 57. But that's a ballsy play by him.
He took the alternate line.
He took the alternate line. And then Billy has the Bucs minus 12.5. He's marking that as a win. The Jets plus 7. He's marking that as a loss. The Titans Chiefs over 57. He's marking that as a win. And the Bengals Ravens under 46. He's marking that as a loss.
Okay. He did go 2-2 last week.
He did. So that's the Billy method.
I'm looking at the Chiefs Titans. Those are two teams that can put up points.
Yes.
And then you look at 57. That's a lot of points.
And Liam was like, I like it at 47.
Yeah.
That's how much he likes it.
I mean, Billy's kind of a sharp. Let's be honest.
Yeah. If Liam, if that game goes under 47, I will personally give Liam something nice.
I'll give him a back rub.
Yeah. No, I'll buy him something. I'll buy him some shoes. Shoes that he wants. Any shoes that he wants to a certain price if that game goes under 47. All right. Should we do Island Boys?
Fantasy Island Boys.
Do we need to have a disclaimer that this is we're mocking Chet Hanks and the Island Boys?
We're doing an impression of the Island Boys.
And
Yeah,
Chet
what
Hanks
are the Island
and
Boys?
Chet-
Maybe there's people who aren't on the internet
The
that know
Island
what.
Why
Boys.
don't you explain it?
I
'Cause
actually-
don't really know.
They're two brothers.
There's a viral video of these two kids.
The Island Boys.
They have like Kodak black hair, like the crazy braids.
Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson.
They're two white kids.
And they're singing a freestyle about them being the Island Boys. Big Cat has been quite literally singing it
It's been
for
in my
the
head
entire week.
for 4 days.
I'm just Island Boys.
Boys. We're the Florida boys. We got a vest on. So, this is and also a little Chet Hanks. I'm drawing inspiration from Chet Hanks.
I always draw inspiration
Yes.
from Chet Hanks.
All right, Hank, ready?
My
Whoa.
name is Ganja Guatemala.
Oh, is an island boy.
You guy, draw.
My storm is foliage. It's that time of year. Unless you're on an island.
The leaves
Yeah.
fall.
Island boy.
My system is hunting whales.
Oh,
I'm with
We
you.
are island boys. We should let the whales live.
nice
Respect.
boy. Right by the beach.
My sleeper
Adam Parcel.
is Jock Peterson.
Oh,
Yo,
Anthony
Jock-
Rizzo's back.
Jock.
NLCS MVP. Congrats on going to the World Series.
Yeah, Braves.
Right.
Bravo.
Blooper.
Blooper. You're a fat
Bruh.
fuck.
Boy, boy, boy.
What up, blood? This Blue Tank Hanks. Fantasy Island Boy. I'm starting rugby. Rugby. Fijians.
Oh, you talk
New
like
Zealand's.
you're talking like the beast now, boy.
Going to FedEx, Maryland.
This is gonna get us
This
canceled.
is very Hank. You got to put some banging ass music.
Yeah,
over
you gotta
this.
really spice this up,
I'm
boy.
sitting NBA.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm sitting NBA Cluntune. Because did you see Stephen A. Smith's tweet? Stephen A. Smith. He tweeted out, "Get ready for NBA Cluntune." CLUNTDIWN, which sounds a lot like just a guy from Philadelphia saying, "Count that clink down." My sleeper is Kawhi.
Kawhi.
Kawhi is an island. Island boy.
Island boy.
Kawhi's got an album coming out at
right.
midnight tonight. So shout
Fire.
out Kawhi. I'm sure it'll be great. Sure, just
Big fire.
pouring his heart and soul into it.
Big fire. All right. What's up, boys? It's Champ Bailey. We're in Denver. Island. My stardom is Justin Fields. He's an island boy down in Florida.
Lord of mercy.
He's going to have a coming out party. My situm is tattoos because I saw the Island Boys and now I don't want a tattoo anymore.
It wasn't me.
And my sleeper, Brian Laundrie, you fucking bitch. You are sleeping in the swamp, bitch.
Bruh.
All right.
They call it murder.
Yeah, that one's...
That's a one and done.
You're going to have to really boost that one up. Hank.
no
We're going to
clip-
need some post-production.
No clips of that one coming
Yeah,
out.
no social clips of that one. We tried and we failed, but we can say that.
I thought it was a good attempt.
It was a valiant attempt.
Listen, you got to take shots in comedy. You can't play it safe.
That's right. Was that comedy?
Yeah. It's comedy in the same way that when people get up on stage and say things that the audience agrees with and they
Yeah.
clap, that's comedy
Yes. By the way, Brian Laundrie, they did confirm that was his teeth. So fuck you, dead bitch.
too. Fuck you, Brian.
Yeah.
Laundrie.
Dog probably caught him. So
Yeah. I mean, dog
probably killed
smoked him out.
Also, I'm really excited for the rest of the internet to spend the next 3 years saying that I already saw in the under the FBI saying they found the dental records of Brian Laundrie. People being like, "That's bullshit." Well, how could he have decomposed already in 4 weeks in the swamp? Well, pretty easily.
Yeah.
And people saying that he's still alive somewhere. He
alligators.
just pulled his teeth out, threw him in the swamp, and now he's in Mexico.
They probably figured out ways to check beyond just like there
Yeah,
wasn't
I'd say
like a
so.
tooth. But I'm kind of on board with the Brian Laundrie's still alive and living in Argentina.
Yeah, that's gonna be. There's gonna be a sect of the internet that is just gonna go chase that for the next
took
5
a
years.
U-boat
so
to
good luck.
Ecuador.
Yeah. Eventually, we're gonna have Brian Laundrie's coming back from the dead, and he's gonna be named vice president.
Nobody out there, I'm telling you right now, do not, under any circumstances, go as Brian Laundrie for Halloween.
Do not.
I am telling
I don't
you,
think anyone
there's
needs
some-
that
no,
disclaimer.
There are some people thinking about it right now.
No, he's a
Don't even-
fucking scumbag,
dead.
rotten hell. All right, let's get to our interview with Bill Burr, and then we got The Beast coming up right after. Then we got Fyre Fest We're going to address something that another podcast said about us. Okay, before we get to Bill Burr, great interview. We got a word from our friends at Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/take right now. Brace yourselves because winter is coming. What the writers of Game of Thrones didn't want to tell you is that Bran was actually in a wheelchair because he didn't trim his balls with Manscaped. That's a hell of a copy. I like this Manscaped. Poor guy thought it was okay to trim his balls with a traditional razor or hair trimmer. Not sure what you want as a gift for the holidays. Well, this is the ultimate gift, and they're here to change the men's grooming game. And you can get 20% off plus free shipping by going to manscaped.com/take. The Performance Package 4.0 is the best in the business. This hygiene bundle includes the Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker, Boxers, Travel Kit, and liquid formulations. The new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof with advanced skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts, and even has a light to help you with your close shave down there. Guys, you got to keep it clean down there. If you're not trimming, you are making a huge mistake, and I guarantee you that whoever the intimate partners in your life think you're a clown. Well, I have the fix for you. Manscaped 4.0, the Lawnmower 4.0 is there for you. Maybe you're on the other side of the wall and you don't know when your next shower is. No worries. The Crop Mop ball wipes are for you as well. So get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/take. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com/take. They have everything you need, all the guy essentials. Manscaped.com/take. It's time to join the Manscaped movement. These products are no joke. Get it? Game of Thrones. Okay, here he is, Bill Burr. Okay, we now welcome on one of our favorite recurring guests. It is Bill Burr. He has just announced he's back. He's officially back. He's touring. It's actually Bill Burr, parentheses, slight return. So it's a slight return.
Is that a Jimi Hendrix thing?
/ how we might be in quarantine by the time these stupid dates come out. So I'm saying I'm back, but who the hell knows?
Got it.
You're setting it. You're setting the parameters here that you're returning. It's a slight return. It's 23 cities.
What I'm doing is hedging my bets. I'm blaming my offensive line before the game even starts.
It's not to make excuses, but here's an excuse just in case.
Yes.
That's perfect. So go buy tickets now. They're on sale. 23 different cities. I was looking at the list of places you're going, and I noticed one. I circled one. You're going to Saratoga while obviously the races are going on in August. Have you been to the track in Saratoga?
No, I've been to the Kentucky Derby, so I haven't gone to that one. So I got to figure that out because the Kentucky Derby, well, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Put it that way. That was a good time.
Yeah, Saratoga's a great town, especially when the horse racing is going on. So you definitely have to do that. But it's good that you're back. It feels like this is the start of, normal coming back. Bill Burr's back on the road.
I mean, I hope so. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It seems like I think we're just going to live with COVID. I've given up on everybody, jumping on one side or the other. We now have I don't know how many 24-hour news networks to drive everybody in different directions. We got podcasts. We got I don't know, town criers. Everybody's got a voice now. So divided locker room.
Yeah.
It's COVID hangs. That's my prediction, and I think we're just going to work around it.
Yeah. I feel like everybody has kind of chosen their lane by this point, and they're just getting further and further entrenched. I don't think anybody's getting more moderate as this goes on.
No, the internet has become like a bunch of towny bars, and you're okay as long as you agree with everybody in that bar. And if you don't, they all look at you and they try to drive you out. It's really it's a low point.
Yeah.
A low point, and I think the internet should be shut down or at least monitored. You got to somehow, I've been doing this bit about incels that a bunch of people who don't know how to talk to women talk to a bunch of other people don't know how to talk to women, and in the end they're all blaming women rather than somebody just coming in there and being like, dude, you're just in a slump.
Yeah. Shoot your shot.
Go. Yeah, shoot a shot. Go after something with a limp. Anything. Get yourself out of the slump. There's no reason to get this angry and ruin everybody's lives. But you get a bunch of morons, and next thing you know, they're all talking. They think the world is flat, which was not even a debate for the first 48 years of my life. And now there's people with driver's licenses and they vote and stuff, and they're absolutely convinced that it's a giant cereal bowl with an ice wall going around it.
They use technology every day, GPS, that proves that the world is not flat. But then everyone likes to think that they know something more than somebody else. Everyone likes to think that they're in on something that all these other sheep out there don't even know about. Billy is actually a number one target of the incel community. Our former intern here, he's terrified that they're going to kill him because he thinks he gets laid so much that the incels are
so good at sports.
Are jealous of him.
Oh yeah, they'll start saying he's getting all the pussy they should be getting. He's taking too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought nice guys. Yeah, I thought nice guys had a chance. It is funny because it is the entire internet exists where basically everyone starts liking something and then they talk to each other so much about it they end up hating the thing they like. And similar to like the incels being like, we hate women, which is crazy. Just go and talk to one, and I'm sure it will be okay. I also
they have books on how to talk to women.
Yeah,
you should read those before you sit around and talk to somebody else. It's like, I'm hitting 190. How do I stay in the MLB? I'm hitting 192. Let's exchange notes.
Yeah, my favorite new town bar, if we're using that analogy for the internet, is now whenever there is someone who passes away, there immediately is, did he have his vaccine? Did he have COVID? Which shot was it, a good death or a bad death? We need to categorize it. It's not this person died, it's sad. It's, well, how can I make this death part of my entire data points here?
Yeah, I think your brand.
Yes.
That's what the word you're looking for.
Yes.
How can I brand this person's death that I have no emotional connection with to increase my followers so I can become an influencer?
And then the best one is if you look, whenever it's sad when people die. People die. People have been dying since the beginning of time. But the first reply is always, RIP, just a quick question, were they vaccinated? That's like instantly right after their death.
Yeah, I'm gonna respect you during this time. While now I'm not going to, and ask you, how did they die?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I clearly said RIP, so that the follow-up question is allowed.
Or they can qualify.
It is what it is. Well, I look at it this way. I thought AIDS was going to take us out, considering once it got into the heterosexual community, then it was kind of everywhere, and it was like, all right, you get this through having sex. People aren't going to stop having sex. We're finished. And they were able to get in front of that. So thank God for the egghead doctors out there and whatever you call them, the researchers with the microscopes that did stuff beyond looking at ants like I did underneath them, who actually know what they're doing, because I think they'll figure it out eventually. But I don't see anytime soon. And I got to be honest with you, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm like, it's gotten to a point where I just can't be bothered to care about this stuff anymore, where it's like, okay, this has gone on for long enough. I'm just going to try to live my life and do things that I want to do and try to do them safely. Have you noticed that people that are coming out to your shows now are like, they've got like pent up laughter that they're waiting to let out? Are they laughing at even the bad jokes that you're telling?
No, because a lot of the states that I have been going to lately, I don't think ever fully embraced that there was COVID. I think people just like, it seems to be if you mask up and if you're vaccinated, you mask up, you're going to be all right. It seems to be. I mean, I've been out there with no mask on in front of all of these people, and, I'm more than 6 feet apart. So I've been all right. I don't know. But I just know that, they're trying to come up with solutions. And no matter what solution they come up with, there's going to be a whole other group of people going like, no, actually, there's a microchip in that and this, that, and the other thing. And it's just like, I actually think that there's a lot of people out there. They're not necessarily just dumb. I just think that they had control of their life. Those people where they're sort of like the big fish there, and everyone, then you got all these other fish swimming around them, and they sort of call the shots. They're like the Elvis of their little world, right? And everybody else is in their entourage. I feel like this thing fucked with their sense of control. So their way to get their control back is to rebel against it.
Yeah.
And there was this one person, I can't give too much detail or my wife will kill me, but I branded this person an egomaniac like 6 years ago. And my wife, of course, just thought it's Bill being a jerk again. And when this stuff first hit, God, how do I tell this story? Let's just say we were going in for an appointment and they were saying, just to let you know, this person is not wearing a mask. And we were like, at the office? And they were like, no, not at all. And I was like, I fucking told you. I told you that person was way too old to have a purple streak in their hair. It's like you're in your 50s. What are you rebelling against? 60-year-olds? You are the establishment.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It was one of the greatest moments in COVID for me was when I proved that person was a fucking egomaniac.
Those are the best, though. The takes that aren't even said out loud on a platform, and like the private takes, like I knew that guy sucked, and you might only tell it to your wife or like a couple close friends, and you can't get the satisfaction of everyone being like, "Oh, you were right," but that private satisfaction is incredible.
Dude, I was in the waiting room, and the person said, I was texting on silence, said, "You can't text in here." Just had to have undivided attention on. I was just like, my God. I mean, I've seen people with their own sitcoms act nicer than you.
The being over it though, it's. I think the three of us are pretty similar in the fact that we have the wherewithal to realize part of the reason why we're over it is like the old bread and circus in like Roman times. Like if you give us sports back and you let us go to dinner every now and then, we can pretty much deal with anything. Like
I don't care.
We're cool. We're cool.
Yeah, I'll wear a mask. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care. Take the vax, don't take it. I don't give a shit anymore. You win.
Yeah, and it's funny being
Wore
like
me out.
Part of like the feeble-minded, but having the wherewithal to be like, oh yeah, I am that guy. Where it's like just let me watch 14 hours of NFL on Sunday, and you won't hear many complaints out of me.
Exactly. Well, that was my thing. Some woman got mad at me because I was making fun that they were bringing that pink stuff back in the NFL. And, of course, she's just acting like I don't care about people with cancer and like I've never had people die, friends die. My thing is like that is my 4 quarters to get away from 24-hour news networks, tragedy, and all of this shit. And over the years, they've just turned after they've just sort of so inundated you with depressing shit on 24-hour news networks. People stopped watching it. I think more people watching sports. So now that shit is like leaking in to like sports where it's like, 108, 107. By the way, this person lost a leg.
Yeah.
Tragedy. It's just like, can I just have 4 quarters?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was
not thinking about this.
I was curious to get your take on how the NFL has been going this year in terms of the roughing the passer penalties. Because I know that you are obviously a big safety first guy. And you want to see all the players get out there and maybe not even hit each other hard. So I was curious to know what you thought about if you saw the Kyler Murray roughing the passer last week. If you've been paying attention to any of that.
No, I mean that's been going on since Brady and Peyton Manning way back in the day. Once they made so many rules, I feel like what happened with all 4 sports was they reached maximum density sports fans. So then in order to get casual fans, scoring is what gets them. It's like soccer. If the games were like 9-8, America would be watching.
Yes.
And then maybe eventually get into the beauty of the game and understand it. But the first thing that's going to get you there is the long ball. So I think once they made all those rules where every year, some fucking, half-ass QB is threatening Dan Marino's 1984 season, it seems, every year. They became the superstars, and I think their ratings went down when quarterbacks got hurt and people didn't want to watch the games, so they just started protecting them more so than they ever did. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard to bitch about it when you see these guys that you loved growing up and they're having problems, cognitive issues and all that. And the NFL's allegedly fucking with their pay. They won't even give them the piddly sum that they said they were going to. So I get it on the long run, but as far as like, being a football fan, I think it's, it's not as fun as it used to be.
Well, I think in a cynical sense, the protecting of the quarterbacks is like a strategy by the NFL, and this might not actually be what they're trying to do, but I think it's what's happening in a long-term range is like when you talk about cognitive issues, CTE, the NFL dealing with all that stuff, the biggest like crisis the NFL would have in the future is a big-time quarterback that is like the face of a franchise, because we feel like we know the quarterbacks more than we know an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. So like if Peyton Manning was like having trouble cognitively, I think that would be another crisis for the NFL. So whether they're doing it on purpose to protect the quarterbacks that way or not, I don't know. But there could be like a cynical view of it. It's like they know the one guy.
100%.
Yeah, the one guys that can't have it.
Always chooses money.
Yeah.
It's always been about the money. If they actually cared about the players, they would have addressed this issue decades ago. You know, it's a corporation.
Yeah.
They're gonna pour shit in the water supply. Wait, hang on a second. I gotta get rid of this. End and accept, decline. That's the button. Jesus. It's great to have football back with fans. All of it is awesome. If we want to do the random text I get from Bill Burr, last time we brought you cornerbacks celebrating. This time I got a random text from Bill, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he just said, am I to believe Kentucky has a solid football team? It was completely out of the blue. There's no conversation going on. He just, one Saturday afternoon, Bill just texted me that. I was like, yeah, they actually are very, very solid.
I think solid is the perfect word to use for Kentucky. Yeah. They're not great.
You're my go-to guy with a few obscure things. There's like, each sports fan I'm like, who do I think is going to give me either the right answer, or who do I think, if I just want someone to agree with me, I have like different people that I text. And you moved up the draft on the draft day. You moved up when you stormed out of Michigan, the big house.
Yeah, chicken shit football,
repeating that over and over again when Wisconsin was losing to them. The image of that was so funny to me. And then just the passion that you left the big house having a good time, having drinks, could not sit there and stomach watching your own team lose. It was despite the money you spent there. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it was punting from Michigan's 40-yard line. That's chicken shit football. I'm not going to invest any more time in it. We actually talked about it on Monday's show. I don't know if you saw the Lions and Bengals game, but we were talking about the sad field goal. There's nothing worse in sports than when your team does a sad field goal. The Lions were down 27-0 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they kicked a field goal. And it's just the most defeating thing that can possibly happen. They cut it to a 24-point game, and you're just like, okay, this is...
Well, they didn't get shut out. They got enough goose eggs on the board with them. I don't know. I'm not of that Madden football where, everybody's like, go for it. Like, the way football coaches call games now is the way us drunks used to be yelling, making the same decisions in the upper deck. Like, go for it, fake punt. But what's funny is you're finding that it's not as risky as everybody thought. I think nowadays with how the field is just so much more opened up. But, if it was 4th and 2, the whole time I was growing up, nobody ever went.
Yeah.
Nobody ever went. It was that was a mile for some reason. But now, I don't know, the West Coast offense, spread offense, I'm not good with that stuff. Whatever. There's one running back or no running back. I think he can get 2 yards at that level, it seems.
It takes coaches probably 2 generations to catch up to what math says about any given subject. So, once people started to get smart about the numbers, it took some of the younger guys to get into the NFL as assistants, maybe just offensive analysts, and start having them work their way up the chain until they got actually to a position of influence where they could tell the coach, hey, you're actually 50% more likely to win the game if you don't punt on 4th and 1 from the 40-yard line. It's stuff that I think people learn by playing video games, honestly.
Yes. No, absolutely. Lane Kiffin coaches like someone plays Madden, where it's anything that's not 4th and 15, he's like, fuck it, I'm going for it.
Yeah, and your coaches are also, the big thing is they were just afraid of getting fired. Yeah. If you go for it.
But doesn't Lane Kiffin get a new job every 2-3 years?
Right. Yeah, that's also playing Madden. Yeah. Right, where you just keep changing teams.
Coaches don't get fired anymore unless they call the commissioner a pussy, in which case that's the one thing that you can't do. But if you're a college coach and you're going for it, it's tough to punish a guy for being too aggressive, because we've learned that if you're being too aggressive, it just means that you want to win.
Right.
Well, I think there's some happy medium between the analytics and then also actually coaching and knowing your team, because analytics and numbers is also why the Seahawks lost to the Patriots, because that play the whole year, the worst it was an incomplete. and at some other high percentage, it was a touchdown, except on that play that lost them the Super Bowl, and it was an interception. So, I mean, what wasn't in the analytics was Bill Belichick knowing about that play and having everybody practice it. So, I don't know. Sometimes analytics make sense. Sometimes it doesn't. But I love stats and stuff. And I don't know. And there's something funny to me that, like, mathletes can figure out how to coach a game better than, like, some, square-jawed football guy. Speaking of which, Ed Ogeron.
Yeah.
I mean, is the guy supposed to fucking recruit a Joe Burrow every other year?
Okay. He's just too horny. He got fired for being horny.
Here's my – so I've had a couple days to process it because we love Coach O. We've had him on the show a bunch. We interviewed him right – it was one of the best, like, moments of our lives right after the national championship that you were at. We got to interview Joe Burrow and Coach O the next morning. We were still blackout drunk interviewing them. Great guy. I think he's beloved. He will be beloved when we have a little perspective. I do think the LSU fan base wanted him out this year because LSU is one of those schools. There's like probably 3 or 4 schools in the entire country where if you have 2 bad seasons in a row, they want you gone. And like that's just SEC football. That's just what the culture is, where it's like they can't stomach those 2 bad seasons because you're just supposed to win all the time at LSU. But I respect the Coach O.
Probably also Nick Saban puts a lot of pressure on everybody in that conference.
Yeah, but he reached the pinnacle, and he had it. He should be remembered for having one of the best college football teams of all time, putting it all together, hiring Joe Brady when he was kind of an unknown, getting Joe Burrow, 15-0. And then maybe enjoying it for a couple years.
I do think that what Big Cat's saying about Nick Saban compared to Coach O, in a way, is actually very correct. It's like Nick Saban is a psychopath.
Right.
He is a fucking weird guy to be this driven after all these years. He doesn't even like winning. He just loves the fact that he's not currently losing. He's a total psycho, great football coach, probably the best of all time in college football. But as a human being, he's fucking nuts.
Well, what the hell's his name? The Ohio State guy. I always forget his name.
Urban Meyer.
The guy was almost ready to do a face plant into his penny loafers. I mean, he looked like the guy, like when the stripper's leading him to the ATM, just cleaning out his pockets. I mean, the guy, where was his buddies?
Yeah.
And then what I love is the woman who knows he's married and coming up and backing her ass up onto his dick. She gets no shit at all.
She got a little. But yeah,
they're protected like NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, that whole story was fucking insane. But I just think the Coach O thing.
What about the rat that filmed it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, wouldn't you? If I was in the bar, I'd be like, "Oh man, he's getting after it tonight." You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You just laugh and going like, the guy's in a drunken stupor. I mean, that's how you're gonna judge the guy in that moment after I don't know how many Moscow mules the guy had.
Well, maybe he's a Michigan fan that filmed
face
it.
down in the peanuts.
Yeah.
Celebrating 0-5. But the thing with Coach O.
How come that chick isn't a predator when he got that hammered and all of a sudden she sees her moment?
Yeah, and he kept his hands to himself, sort of. But Coach O, one last thing. So his career, if you look at it, he is like he's the people's champ because every time he's had like a big moment, a peak, he's then fallen back down. So it's a roller coaster. He got hired at Ole Miss. It was a big deal, and then things fell apart there. I just hate when
somebody recruits the guy that then wins you a championship. These asshole sports fans act like that doesn't count because it only happened once.
Yeah. No,
it's like John Gruden. John Gruden, he was an overrated coach. It's like he's got a Super Bowl win, and they're like, oh, that was Tony Dungy's team. It's like, first of all, he coached Tampa Bay to a Super Bowl. Tony Dungy did not. He also fucking coached in that game against his old team, the Oakland Raiders, that was so good even when he wasn't there, they still got there. So I think that's a wash. And Tony Dungy got a ring with the Colts after their owner was sit on the competition committee, made how the Patriots covered their receivers illegal, and then they stole our fucking offense.
I would say that John Gruden is... He's
overrated.
He's an average football coach compared
he's not overrated.
Compared to other football
coaches. He took over
coaches.
the Raiders twice when they were laying in the gutter.
That's
going to affect your win percentage.
Have you looked at his season by season? He had 14 full seasons in the NFL.
I can't because of the glare of his Super Bowl ring. You fucking nitpicking cunt.
No, I'm not nitpicking.
The whole purpose of being a coach in the NFL is to take a team to the Super Bowl. He did it, and he gets no fucking credit. I'm not saying he's one of the greatest of all time, but to say that the guy was like average. Listen, that guy, when he coaches the Raiders, the Raider fans show up, they make money, and they become a competitive team.
That's
the guy,
okay. That's
he's
fair.
got a $100 million contract. Yeah, over 10 years, that's $10 million a year. That's chicken shit. That's chicken shit money.
I don't think
money in the NFL.
I wouldn't say, but he's not a great coach. I think he's a coach that won a Super Bowl.
Whoever said he was a great coach?
Okay,
Everyone
good.
just looked
All
like,
right, we agree.
People look like he was making $100 million a year.
Yeah, no, we
But
agree.
he wasn't overrated.
Yeah.
$10 million a year for John Gruden is a fair fucking price.
We agree that he wasn't a great, because that's the other thing. Is like the one piece of advice I'd give anyone in life is to have incredible success early, because then you can kind of ride on that for a very long time.
Oh, you're being a cunt. Listen, if the only way you say that he's not a great coach is you have to compare him to the greatest of all time. But if you just talk about coaching, we've all coached Little League or Pop Warner. This guy made it all the way to a Super Bowl in that job and won one.
Wait,
but fucking ring.
So you're doing the opposite. You're saying like John Gruden,
I'm balancing it out.
If you put him up against Pop Warner coaches, he's a great coach.
No, I'm saying that's like you did an HBO special and you crushed it, but you only did one, and then people act like you didn't kill on your HBO special.
Right, so
you never did it again.
That's fair.
I would submit like John Gruden is a better football coach than 99.9% of people who were ever born in the world. But compared to other NFL coaches, I'd say he's
Vince
like
Lombardi,
top
Paul Brown, Bill Belichick. Yeah, everybody's going to crumple.
Yeah, especially the longer your career gets in the NFL. It actually is tough to have a long career hovering around 500.
Yeah, you get to say Nick Saban's one of the greatest coaches of all time, but at the pro level, he got his ass kicked with the Dolphins. But does that mean he's a bad coach? Was it a bad franchise? I mean, look, if you coach the fucking Lions, I mean, that's a family-owned franchise. And the first guy who bought it was a rabid football fan, and they won like 3 with Bobby Lane. And then ever since then, it's the kids get it. And what are they going to say, no to inheriting a billion-dollar corporation?
Yeah, no, I actually think Jim Caldwell is maybe the greatest coach of all time if you put it into real perspective, because he took the Lions to the playoffs.
That's what I would say with Baker Mayfield. They're already jumping off his thing. He brought the Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I know
they won a playoff game.
The Baker thing, it's really hard in today's NFL, because I think we frame everything around, like, if you don't have Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, or like Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, you don't have anyone. Or Josh Allen, throw him in there. But like Baker Mayfield, I think
it's more just it's a 24-hour news cycle. So
yeah.
then they just every week they got to be like, were we wrong about, Russell Westbrook? Is he not good anymore? He has like one bad game. Did we jump the gun on this other Hall of Famer? It's just to get people like me standing in their underwear as they're brushing their teeth, yelling from the other room at the TV.
You're screaming at Stephen A. Smith from the other room.
People tried it with Patrick Mahomes. They started to dip their toe in the water with it. They're like, is Patrick Mahomes bad now?
With Lamar Jackson, it's already like we already got the is Lamar Jackson the greatest quarterback of all time, which was quickly followed by has the league figured out Lamar Jackson? And now we're back into has Lamar Jackson figured out the league again?
Has he matured?
Yeah.
An older, wiser Lamar Jackson in his 3rd season. I mean, that guy's lived like, it's like Falcon Crest back in the day. It's just somebody's dead and then they come back from the dead. I thought you died in a plane crash. No, I'm back. I married your sister. All right, I got to get going here because I got a thing I got to do here in about 28 minutes, and it's about a 20-minute drive.
Okay, so tell us last thing with your tour. So your tickets on sale now, 23 cities?
Something like that. Yeah, 23 cities, a bunch of cool venues and stuff, and I don't know. I got a whole new hour. What's cool is I did a gig at Red Rocks in Boulder, Colorado, and I filmed it. So I think I already got my special, which I've never done a tour where I already had my special. So I get to just have, I already got an hour and a half that works, and now I get to sort of like build the new one as this tour ends. So I'm thinking right as this tour ends, maybe my next special comes out and I already have another hour. I'm ahead of the game because of this COVID.
Just a quick idea, and I know you got to go, but have you ever thought about putting together, now not to, out ourselves as maybe horny guys, but have you ever...
We're not
horny guys. We're not horny guys.
We're like,
have you ever watched have you ever maybe come across a compilation online where it's a compilation of the finishing acts of a porn scene. Maybe you should do that, where it's like you hitting the punchline over and over and over at every stop and all the laughs. And it's a
and then
laugh.
I'll upload it to like one of those porn sites.
Yeah, you porn.
Yeah.
Just like Bill Burr. Watch Bill Burr make everyone burst.
Comedy compilation.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Think
porn
about
should
it.
actually think about getting in, like branching outside of porn.
Yeah.
I feel like they've kind of become siloed where it's just, I can't go to YouPorn and get all my viewing experiences.
Yeah, you just nail the joke. It's the
I
last
think
line.
there would be something hilarious watching an hour of a guy saying punchlines and listening to people lose it,
Yes.
and you have no idea what they're laughing about.
Yes, it's just the good part. It's just the good part.
Me and my friends, my knucklehead friends I used to drink with in high school, we used to watch Jeopardy the same way. We'd hear the question, we'd be looking at you like we had no idea, and then some egghead would answer it. We would just laugh at how stupid we were.
Yeah.
And I think there might be something there.
All right, something to leave you with. But Bill, thanks as always, man. It's always fun to have you on, and good luck.
Yeah, I
with the
love
tour.
coming on this show, man. Anytime you have a fallout. You know?
Yeah, and anytime you're in New York, you got to come back in person.
Or anytime I got a random text, I'm sending it your way.
Perfect. I love it. I'll answer them all.
All right, guys. We'll see you. Thank
All
you.
right, see you, Bill.
All right, bye-bye.
Bill Burr was brought to you by our great friends over at Get Upside. We wanted to tell the award-winning listeners about this incredible app that everyone who buys gas needs to know about. It's called Get Upside. Do you drive a car? Do you know somebody that drives a car? Well, Get Upside can help you out. Award-winning listeners are making up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Use promo code TAKE. You're going to get a bonus 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's up to 50 cents cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Get cash back using Get Upside. Some people who drive a lot are making as much as $200 to $300 a month in cash back, and there's no catch. The cash back gets added right to your account. You can take those savings, reinvest them into the Can't Lose Parlay or into the Field Goal Over Bet, or you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app. Use promo code TAKE. Get up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your first tank. That's promo code TAKE. And now, here's Tendai, the Beast.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. He is the Beast, one of the best rugby players of all time.
I'd say all time.
Tendai Mtwarira. I hope I did that right. I didn't probably.
Tendai Mtwarira. I'm gonna have to give you some listens.
Okay, but the Beast.
Yeah, Beast.
And obviously I'm not a huge rugby guy. PFT is a huge rugby guy, so it will be more his questions. But I do have to ask: is the Beast the coolest nickname of all time? Because that's got to, like, at what point in your life did you get the nickname the Beast? And you're like, yeah, this fits. I'm the Beast.
So it's actually a funny story, eh? So when I was born in Zimbabwe, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Zimbabwe.
We have a guy who we work with who's from Zimbabwe.
Oh, yes, yeah, you obviously know.
Yes.
So I happened to be the heaviest baby ever to be born in Zim at the time. 1985, I was well over 5 kgs. So
what's that
I was a
pounds?
beast at birth.
What was the pounds?
Geez, what's
Jake, can you look that up?
5.5 kgs in pounds?
12.1
That's
pounds.
that's a big baby.
A big baby.
So I was big. My mom reminds me every second day.
So you were the Beast from birth.
I was the beast from birth, man.
That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
So yeah, as Big Cat mentioned, our producer Za, who works here, he's from Harare, right?
Yeah,
and
yes.
he said that he went to school with you.
Yes,
that he
he
actually
did.
attended the same school.
Yeah.
Were you there when the aliens came?
What aliens?
The aliens
no,
came
Za's
to
been putting
came
us
to the Harare boys' school.
I was not. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that episode.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
no, he's got like, are you an alien? You might be an alien then. He showed us like there were a bunch of news cameras that came to the school and interviewed him about it. Yeah,
about the aliens. Oh, geez, nah.
they came at recess one day in Harare. But you're famous for being a South African rugby player. You played for South Africa. You won a World Cup there. At what point did you decide like South Africa was going to be the country that you wanted to represent internationally?
I think I made that decision when I was 16 years old, because you know, from that age, I knew I was very talented in the game, you know, of rugby, and there was no league in Zimbabwe to aspire, you know, to play for. So the closest thing to home was South Africa, So I always watched, South African rugby. I watched Super Rugby. I watched the Springboks play, and I was huge fans of, certain guys that actually were born in Zimbabwe but representing South Africa. Guy Bobby Skinstead, you might be familiar with the name. So I knew that this was the place for me, to get to realize my dream. So when I was 18 years old, we were invited on a tour to play against a few schools in the Durban area on the East Coast in South Africa, and it was there where I was scouted by the Sharks. They saw me running around. They were impressed with my play, with my skill set. They offered me a bursary to come and study and pursue my dream. So I made that decision, man, and that was like a dream come true, when that offer came.
Yeah.
I knew that this is the place for me. Yeah.
So for people who don't follow rugby, myself included, describe why you are the beast and why you are so well known. Like, what is your game like that is so much better than everyone else? You can put the humbleness aside for a second. We're allowing that.
Okay. I think what makes me the beast, or what made me the beast, is I always showed there's feats of strength. In the games. I don't know if you've seen my iconic lift that I did in 2012. I had a guy that I lifted above my head and I held him, and it was probably 120 kgs. So that's quite heavy.
It was a kickoff at the start of a half, right?
Yeah.
And it's as a prop. Sometimes you got to lift some of you guys above your head to try to catch the ball. They get up in the air a little bit higher. This guy fell backwards over the beast's head. The beast just held him up there above his head. Probably saved him from a broken neck.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did he buy you a beer after that? Was he like, thank you?
Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah, so he was grateful. And then another thing is obviously my scrummaging prowess. I was very strong in the scrum. I destroyed a few opposition in my career. So that's what kind of gave me, that name. It just echoed, throughout my career, and people chanted it every single time when I played. So it made it really special, So yeah, man. So I would say the massive feat of strength. That's what made me the beast.
That's pretty cool to just be like, I'm the feats of strength that I showed over year.
My physicality and feats of strength made people call me a beast. Yeah, that's pretty intimidating. When you say that out loud. What about in high school or secondary school, whatever? I don't know what it's called in Zimbabwe, but as you're growing up, I have to imagine that you were the biggest baby to ever be born in Zimbabwe. You were probably pretty big when you were starting to play like junior levels of rugby. Were the other parents in town concerned to let their children play rugby against you?
Yeah. So I remember a specific time in my high school career when one of the parents actually asked, for my birth certificate, just to see if I was legitimate, if I was actually born in the same year as their son. So it was quite, it's something that I just embraced, that I was just big, I was just naturally gifted, I was strong, so I had to show that I was the real age quite a few times.
It's a compliment, really. Like in baseball, if you get accused of cheating when you're a pitcher, you should be like, thank you for thinking that I'm that good, that I must be doing witchcraft on the ball. So if another parent's like, no, we don't believe that this guy is really the age he says, it's like, yeah, I am, and I'm just that good.
Yeah.
No, it is a compliment. So I just took it in my stride, man, and just owned it.
I just pulled up that video. That was an incredible highlight. So I get it now. I get the beast now. I get that nickname now. It makes sense. Now I know you've probably been asked this before, but did you ever consider professional football in America? Did you ever think about playing college football or anything like that? Because clearly your strength and speed, like that combination, is something that translates to any sport, I'd imagine. Did you ever, did anyone ever reach out and try to get you to maybe giving a tryout?
So something happened back in 2010. You guys are familiar with 5 Hour Energy?
Yep.
Yeah. So the owner was launching the energy drink in South Africa. So he was looking for brand ambassadors, and my name was put forward. That I fit the brand, and I met him, and then he asked me, "Have you ever actually tried to, get into the NFL?" So he kind of looked at me and said, "You look similar. You got a similar build to Ray Lewis. You could fit the mold. You could do the transition. So I was like, I never thought about it. So he actually dropped the seat. I think he was sponsoring the Seahawks at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me that he would actually assist me to get into the combine. So I almost came to the NFL combine. But the only thing is that if I had done that, I would have probably risked my contract getting torn up in South Africa. So I was established already. I had a family, I had kids. So, it was just too much of a risk for me. Yeah.
Watching the game, watching American football, do you think you could, at your peak, could have competed?
Yep, definitely. I believe I could have been a great linebacker or tight end.
Fullback, tight end,
yeah. I think I would have. I love Aaron Gordon. He's probably my favorite player. So, I watch a little bit because of this guy right here.
Okay, nice,
so,
nice.
So
Love it.
Yeah. We could still arrange a tryout if you wanted. We've got a couple GMs on speed dial we could reach out to.
Yeah, I'm keen. Let's do it.
Yeah. But now are you playing for? Are you still on the DC Glory?
No. So I played for Glory last year. Then I officially retired from the game.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. But the season was cut short, It was unfortunate because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I was based in D.C. for about 3 months. And it was a fun time, and I was doing a lot of fun things, working with Washington Youth Rugby, trying to promote the sport, working with kids in the inner city schools. So it was so rewarding, at the end of my career to actually try and help grow the game. So, I was doing some great work in D.C.
What was the level of competition like when you were playing, when you did get to play for the team here in D.C.? Were you having to take it easy on some of the other guys? Were you like, man, I could actually kill you on this field right now, so I'm gonna slow up?
No, I think it was very competitive, It was quite physical. So I think in my first game I played against the Seawolves. So, it was a shock to my system that, whoa, these guys are really coming out for me, But I actually respected that. And I think I would, if I had to compare it to South African rugby, I would say it's probably on the same level as the Currie Cup. So it was quite, impressive. And I think the league is just getting better every year. The level of rugby is getting better. So, it's just the injection of the international players coming into the league that's really kind of,
Now, reading up about you, you also, you went to, or you're currently in an MBA program?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm studying an MBA.
Yep. And so, rugby's at a point where it was obviously your full-time job when you were at the height of it, but I would assume it's not like something that, like an NBA or NFL player, like the top level guys, they never have to work another day in their life. So are you going to be working like a regular job, coming up and be like, I was the best at my sport? That always fascinates me. Like, you're going to walk into Deloitte and you'd be like, I was the beast. I am the beast.
Funny you mentioned that. So I did the whole transition into my next chapter. Fortunately, whilst I was playing, I always thought about my next chapter. I was prepared for it. So I was invested in a security company, the biggest in South Africa. I became a shareholder whilst I was playing, and I started learning about the industry. So it was a natural progression after I retired to join the business. So currently I'm running a subsidiary, CEO.
Okay, so you're the boss, so that makes you feel better. Yeah, okay, all right. That's a lot better,
So that's why I had to study the MBA, just to get a...
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. I was worried that you're going to go to, do the MBA and then start as a junior analyst, no, you own the company.
Tough.
All right. It makes me feel a lot better because you're the beast. That would suck if you're the beast.
That would suck, man. That's why.
Yeah. Okay, so this was MBA was kind of an addition to what you already do in business world.
Yeah,
that was smart though. Yeah, the transition seems like it's going well then.
It kind of sells itself if you have an opportunity to hire a security company and you have one that's okay, I could either hire the one that's run by the beast or one that's not run by the beast. Why would you ever take the other company?
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a fact. Yeah. So I try to leverage my brand as much as I can,
Uh-huh. Yes, absolutely. I got a question about your Twitter. So you're a crying emoji guy on NBA posts, kind of Twitter guy. I've noticed that. So who do you root for? Are you a this league? You just like the storylines? Because I saw there was a meme. Sixers stay with us or go to the moon, and Ben Simmons a rocket ship, and you just have 6 crying emojis. I like that. Lakers adding Rondo to the same locker room as Westbrook. It's a video. Crying emojis. I like this. So who's your favorite player, and do you have a team in the NBA?
So I am a huge NBA fan. Man.
Okay.
So I'm a huge LeBron fan. So
there's the door.
Exactly. So I've changed my jerseys, obviously. 3 times now, from Cleveland.
He has no loyalty.
Miami Heat, Lakers.
Yep.
So a lot of guys, they kind of pick on me saying I'm not loyal, but I'm loyal to LeBron. So I love the Lakers. So I've been obviously, following what's going on. I watch games. It's quite late. They show like at 3 in in South Africa, but I still watch. So I'm a huge LeBron fan. I follow the guy
What is it that you like about LeBron? I'm just curious.
I think LeBron is the ultimate package. He is a great athlete, he's a great human being, he stands for so much that is right, he stands up for the community, he's vocal, when it comes to, campaigns like the Black Lives Matter, he always thinks about other people than himself, and obviously he's a great father, you look at his kids now, the way he's raising them, he's a great father figure, so he's a complete package, so that's why I look at him, and there's obviously longevity, the way, he's been so consistent over a long time. He's 37 now, he's a year older than me, so, I always just aspire to be like him because, he's so consistent. He's won 4 rings, he's going to win more.
Yeah,
So
he's lost 6 times in the finals too. You just kind of kneecapped me there because I hate LeBron, but then you started talking about him as a person, and I can't really argue about that fact because LeBron does seem like a very good father and obviously good with the community and everything.
Yeah.
But I
Space
hate him
Jam 2
on the court.
sucked.
Yeah, Space Jam 2 sucked.
Your comment?
He also is
Are you defending his acting as well,
alcoholic,
sir?
maybe alcoholic.
I haven't watched Space Jam 2, so that's how I'll keep it
you
at that.
if you watch,
I'll be the judge when I watch it.
You watch Space Jam 2, and you'll be walking in with a Kevin Durant jersey the next day. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Never
Yes.
in a million years.
So is NBA big in South Africa? Is it grown? Have you noticed that?
The NBA is growing in a big way because I think there's been actually a massive focus from the NBA to invest. So I'm actually quite close to a lot of the NBA executives, especially that work in Africa. So I'm sure I don't know if you're familiar, there was a new league that was launched this year.
Yes.
The BAL,
Yes.
Basketball Africa League.
Joakim Noah was part of that? Yeah.
Joakim Noah, J. Cole was there.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of interest. There's never been avenues for young kids, to aspire to get opportunities because, there's kids that are actually really talented. You could get a few point guards in South Africa. Yes, they're not the tallest guys, but you can get some guys that can dribble the ball, that they've got a massive skill set and can play. But the only thing is that, they don't have an opportunity. So the league is actually, quite huge for the whole of Africa.
That's awesome.
So, so I play a game of pickup every second week because I actually play basketball.
So what's
myself.
your game like?
Rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
Charles Barkley?
I'd imagine you can box people out. Do you ever find yourself semi-tackling people? Because it is funny watching whenever you watch basketball play, when you watch pickup basketball, you can be like, all right, that guy played hockey, that guy played football, that guy played baseball. I would imagine that guy played rugby is he's just starting to scrum with everyone in the middle of the court.
No, that's a fact, man. Every time I do a screen, I knock somebody out.
Yeah,
I knock
wouldn't want to
somebody
play
out.
with you. I'd want you on my team, man.
How much do you bench right now?
At the moment, 190 kgs. So
All right,
190
what is
times
that?
2.2 in pounds.
That sounds like it's heavy. It sounds like it's over 400 pounds.
198 kgs.
Yeah, close to 400.
So you're still in you're keeping in game shape. What about injuries? Because I'd imagine there's a million that you had. Rugby feels like one of those sports that if you ever talk to anyone who played rugby, they're like, yeah, I broke my neck, I broke my arm, I did this. Did you have a ton of injuries?
Man, I was so fortunate.
Really?
The worst I had was a broken ankle, So I just played so much rugby, from back-to-back seasons without suffering, a lot of, injuries. So I was just very fortunate, man. I guess credit to my conditioning coach, man. I had a great coach.
And genes, I'd say that's genes.
You're also,
genes as well.
Also, a
mom
beast.
and dad.
You're a beast.
You're a beast.
So yeah, man, I'll claim it. I'm a beast.
So I played a little bit at Division 1 men's level, which is nowhere near as good even as Major League Rugby in the United States right now. But a lot of the props that I played with, which is your position, they have, like, you know, as their career gets longer and longer, they have to get, you know, shoulder issues start to pop up, especially with props and neck issues. There are guys that I know that have gotten MRIs that have spent like their entire life playing loose head prop, and one side of their body is now bigger and overcalcified. Like their bones are physically bigger on one side because you just spend so much time hitting that side. Did you have to actually like work to counter train the other side of your body to make sure that you weren't getting like overuse injuries?
Yes. Now it was a massive emphasis. You know, it was part of my training regime to make sure that, you know, whatever I did on the right hand side, I did on the left hand side. So I always try to equal, you know, because you don't want to have that. You don't want to have one dominant side. So it's important to create that and to get that balance. So I always made sure in my training, you know, I did the same thing as, you know, the other side. So it's quite important. Yeah.
So 198 kilograms, by the way, is 436 pounds. No big deal.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's way
That's
more
a
than
lot.
Billy
That's
football
a
can bench.
shitload of weight.
Yeah. No, I can bench a lot. I'll claim it in the Springbok team. Nobody could bench more than me.
Yeah.
Being the strongest guy on a rugby team, like a World Cup winning rugby team, is such a flex.
Well, you have to be if you're the beast.
Yeah.
Like this is it's like a chicken and egg thing. You were born the beast, but then you had to live up to it, because if you were not benching 436 pounds, you'd be like, this guy's not the beast.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, who is he, man? He's beauty then.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been trying to think of ways to bring offloading into the NFL and teach players how to like go into contact, pass the ball laterally or backwards, and extend a play that way, because you can get obviously so many more yards off it because you suck the defenders in and you're able to find a guy open in space. But it's a skill set that you have to work on for years to be able to do it comfortably, right? Like especially for a bigger guy going into contact, to be able to like position his hands in just the right way to be able to pass the ball securely to his teammate. You should actually think about being a consultant to different NFL teams, to different coaches, and be like, I can teach you how to teach this skill properly. Because I do think that the game of football, at some point, there's going to be a coach that figures out the advantage to doing it, and that coach is going to do some real damage, and then other coaches are going to want to learn how to do it too. Have you talked to anybody? Have you ever spoke with a professional football player in the United States about, like, you know, what they think about offloading the ball?
No, so no, I haven't had the chance, but I think it's a great point that you raised there. I think, you know, I've watched a bit of NFL, you know, and I think that they don't utilize the space, you know, to the best of their ability. You know, I think if you get the offload in, you know, then you get the chance to actually, you know, get the ball to somebody in a better position than you when you get tackled. So I think there's a lot of space, you know. Yes, the quarterback, you know, he can see everything and he can throw a dime and, you know, get somebody to catch it and score in the end zone. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, if you get all the players, you know, accustomed to offloading the ball, I think it will just do a massive world of good, you know.
It would be an unstoppable offense.
Yeah.
The first person to figure out how to do it correctly is going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I would love to help. So, yeah. So you guys put me forward, man. Throw my name in the hat. I
Okay.
can help.
All right, I had one last question. This might be a weird question, but I would imagine you can drink a few beers. How many beers does it take for the beast to get drunk? I think people actually want to know. Like, that's. I would imagine if you had 2 Coors Light, which we love Coors Light, it's not like, you know, it's not doing anything. So, like, after a match, how many beers is like an average the beast, you know, post match?
You're going to laugh at this because I've never been a big drinker.
Okay.
So
That's a totally fine answer. I'm not either. Yeah. That's totally fine.
So it's like, yeah, man, I'm a lightweight because when I drank, because I was so fit, it would take a few, you know, to get me drunk. So, yeah, man, I was always quite strict with myself, you know. Never touched alcohol. I would train hard and stay clean. So now probably I have a few more gin and tonics than normal. So I would say probably 10 gin and tonics will get me over. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, what little I know about rugby is they just go and bash each other and like play this really hard sport and then get drunk after.
Yeah, no, it's a fact. That's the old kind. Yeah, it still happens, but it's like back in the day. It was quite excessive, but because of the professionalism, you know, that has been brought into the game, players now have to only drink 3 to 4 drinks after a game.
Yeah.
You know, because your coach is like literally looking at you. You know, they're like keeping tabs on you. You know, there's a curfew. You can't go out. You can't, you know, obviously go overboard. So there's a lot of restrictions. So you can't really do that, you know, that much.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays.
Have you ever gotten into a fight on the pitch, like a fist fight?
Yeah.
Who'd you knock out? What did they do? Because there's so much violence that happens in and around the scrum and the rucks that, like, at what point does it become an issue where you're like, we're actually going to fight now?
So yeah, probably the worst fight I had was in a local game in South Africa. We were playing a team called the Cheetahs, and there happened to be a guy who was just, you know, irritating me. You know, he was throwing cheap shots in the scrum. You know, yeah, I had enough. You know, and then next thing I just gave him a big smack on the face. I got open literally a
Open
flat
hand
one.
slap.
That's almost more disrespectful than a closed fist. I'd rather be knocked out than get slapped in the face.
I would have probably gotten a red card, so I got a yellow card. I had to go sit in the sin bin for 10 minutes, but I was proud that I did that.
Yeah, stood
because
up for
the guy
yourself.
was being,
Yeah,
being
he
horrible.
needed it.
He needed it.
Well, this has been awesome, man. We really appreciate you stopping by. The Beast. It's good to meet the Beast. There's not a lot of beasts you get to meet, so appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me, and yeah, it's great to chat to you guys. And hopefully you're there at the USA match next week against the All Blacks. I think it's going to be big.
Yeah, I think we're gonna air this next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right. So it's this Saturday. Is it at FedEx Field?
Yeah, it's at
Raleigh,
Field,
Maryland. It's going to be the United States against the New Zealand All Blacks. We're going to get killed. How many points is New Zealand going to beat us by?
I think USA Rugby has got a chance, man. It's going to be a draw. It's going to be a draw.
Okay.
It's gonna be
They're going to rise up to the occasion.
Okay, there you go.
Nice,
All right.
nice. That
Love
was
it.
very diplomatic. All right, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thanks, man. The Beast is brought to you by our great friends over at Roman. Most guys have tried different ways to last longer in bed, but thinking about baseball doesn't always work. The folks at Roman, they're an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes. It's the secret to longer lasting sex. No more thinking about baseball. If you're Jerry Carabas, it probably makes you nut faster. With Roman Swipes, you just swipe it on, you let it dry. It's a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're easy to use, effective, and fast acting. They don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the packet, swipe it on, let it dry. You're good to go. That's it. Go to GetRoman.com/take. You can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/take.
All right, let's wrap up. We got Fyre Fest of the week. Send everyone on their way. Week 7. We'll see everyone at Kilroy's in Bloomington, Pup Punk, tomorrow night or tonight.
It's going to be a great time. You know what? I need to find a place that I can get my hands on a pair of Indiana basketball warm-up pants
I can work on
for
that
tomorrow.
for you.
Can you
I
do
will
that for
work
me?
on that for
I
you.
want to wear those on stage tomorrow night.
Yep, I will work on that for you. Hank, your Fyre Fest of the week.
My Fyre Fest is last week. I was in Baton Rouge, and I left
You're an island boy.
Yeah, I am. I left my headphones in my hotel room, so I have not had headphones this entire week.
Oh, that's tough.
And I felt like just an absolute psychopath on the train in the morning.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't get another pair?
Not yet.
That is crazy.
Didn't Jake say that he has another pair of headphones?
I
Last
just
week.
don't listen. I'm not saying AirPods, but going on the train without headphones is crazy.
Well, it's like one of those things. I get on, and then I forget I have headphones. I go to work. I'm like, I'm going to get headphones, and then I forget, and now we're here.
I'll give you headphones.
I'll walk back from the train if I forgot my headphones. I've done that.
Yeah,
The train will
there's
show
nothing.
up. I'll go to put my headphones in, be like, oh, I forgot them. Go back home.
There's nothing worse than being alone on a train with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Especially on your way into work.
Yes.
Or you can be the psycho guy. I don't know who these psychopaths are that just play whatever they're listening to out loud.
Yeah.
And just look at their phone the entire time.
Not as crazy as the people who read.
No,
Books.
those aren't. I thought we said people.
Yeah. Those are crazy. All right, I'm sorry, Hank.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for your loss.
I have a pair of wired headphones if you'd like them.
No, it's all right. I am going to get some eventually.
Heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
PFT?
So my Fyre Fest is that I started watching Succession again this week, and I completely forgot what happened in the last season of Succession. So then I spent this entire first episode just trying to remind myself of what's going on and why they hate each other and why people are on different sides. And I didn't know. By the end, I made up an entire story in my head that I think is completely wrong. But at the very least, it got me to start paying attention to this episode, filling in the gaps a little bit.
So next Wednesday, we should start doing our Succession reviews. Did you watch first episode, Hank? Yeah. Okay. I had the same thing because I totally forgot, and this is a spoiler. If you haven't watched, make sure you don't listen to the next 2 minutes. But I think a lot of people are watching as they go along. It's not an enormous spoiler, but there it is, spoiler warning. I totally forgot that Tom and Shiv were getting divorced.
Yeah.
That was one of those moments where I was like, wait, do they not like each other? Oh, yeah, they don't like each other.
I didn't know
Remember
that
went to
either.
the divorce island?
Yep.
Island boy.
Yep.
They sat on the beach and he was like, this isn't working. That was one of those ones. Because let's just be honest here. You're weak-minded if you go and watch the 2-minute recap.
Absolutely.
So be a man.
I invented.
Well, I thought it was going to start with the 2-minute recap.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. And at that point, I was like, I'm not going back and watching and getting myself up to speed.
That's for losers.
I created this story in my head. It probably has nothing to do with the storyline, but at the very least, it got me to a point where I can now watch and observe what they're doing. The only note that we'll save our recap for on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll do episode 1 and 2 on Wednesday.
I had one note. It was Shiv, good Lord, dummy thick.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Dummy thick.
Bonk, bonk. We knew that was your
dummy.
Note. Yeah,
thick.
you didn't even need to watch the first episode to have that.
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Thicker than a Snicker.
Yeah, that will be. We'll because I think Jake and Billy are also catching up, so they're going to watch both seasons and then catch up.
Also, best theme song on television.
Yes. All right. My Fyre Fest is another podcast. You want to bleep it out? The Ryan Russillo podcast. You don't have to bleep it out. Oh no, wait. It's Dual Threat. Dual Threat podcast.
Frozen pizza.
That's a great name for a podcast.
That was his name for his podcast. Dual
really
Threat
good.
with Ryan Russillo.
Why do they call it Dual Threat?
I don't know. I think he's a freak in the streets and the sheets.
I think, it goes both
Audio
ways.
and visual.
Yeah, audio and visual. No, we're actually very good friends with Ryan Russillo. Well, maybe not Hank anymore. So there was a listener life advice email that said who would win in a fight? Russillo, Kyle, nephew Kyle, who we've met, good dude. Cerruti, who we've also met. He's a soccer fan. I think I've said enough. And then me, PFT, and Billy, who would win in a fight. And Ryan talked himself into his squad beating our squad.
Okay, well, first of all, nephew Kyle is what, 6'5", 240? Mm-hmm. He's a big boy. But I don't have faith in nephew Kyle when it comes. I feel like I could submarine him. And you have dad strength.
I do.
Dad strength is a real thing. Do any of those guys have kids?
No.
So we've got dad strength.
That they know of.
And then we've got war mode on our side. Have any of them ever stepped into a ring?
Well, I actually think that the real fuck up that they had was Hank is the third in this crew, not Billy. I love Billy, but Hank is the producer. He's been the producer since day one.
Mm-hmm. But Billy fought in Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah, Hank also fought in Rough and Rowdy. Want to know? I actually have a different take on it. I think Russillo holds so much anger in his shoulders and neck from various people online saying, "Oh, did you vote for Trump because of the taxes?" That he would probably kick all of our asses.
He's just
I don't really
waiting
care.
to wail on us.
Yeah, he's probably like, "Fuck you guys."
I'll put it this way: if we held our fight at like a local school board meeting, Ryan would break down the door, come inside, and start screaming at us until he was either dragged out or he came up on stage and whooped the shit out of us.
I have no problem saying that I am not tough. They did nail one thing about me. They said that I'm a yo-yo weight guy, which that is absolutely true. And yeah, I haven't been in a fist fight in probably 15 years, and I don't ever, hopefully, plan on ever being in a fist fight again. So I have no problem just laying down and showing them my belly and being like, hey, my face is too pretty to get punched. Can't say the same for you, Ryan.
I've got a great strategy when it comes to a fist fight because I'm not good at fist fighting.
Yeah.
But what I can do to most people is just go after their legs, grab them, we both fall to the ground, and then hope to God that somebody comes over and breaks the fight up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I took that guy down.
Well, Kyle did say, and I think he nailed the part that if it was Kyle and I matching up against each other, we'd probably just end up in some kind of weird, like Tasmanian devil rolling around bear hug situation because Kyle's a smoker. I'm not in good shape. I think I probably have about 15 seconds. Hank, I think you could kick Cerruti's ass, and I like Cerruti, but again, soccer fan man bun says enough.
So now I have to go against Ryan.
And that
that's not good,
good
for
luck.
me. That's not good,
luck.
for me. Why can't I go against a soccer guy?
What if you who do you want to go against Rosillo?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, Hank should
All
go
right,
against
fine.
Rosillo.
Hank's going against Rosillo, so
Okay.
now we've won.
Yeah, now we win the fight.
So
'Cause
Kyle and I
think-
just roll around,
I have
maybe
reach.
even kiss.
I have all the
Yeah.
reach.
That actually is what we would do. If we showed up to the three of them and we faced off and we just kissed all three of them, what would they do then?
It'd be pretty tough.
I would kiss the fuck out of Rosillo.
Pretty tough to make him fight back at that
I'd
point.
kiss Rosillo till he didn't want to fight anymore.
Well, unless it turns into like a Johnny Cake situation, and Ryan gets so mad that you kissed him and fulfilled his longtime wish to kiss you.
Yes.
That he
and-
punches you.
and then we got
But then he-
motorcycles in New Hampshire.
Then he comes back later and he's like, "Hey, can I get those Johnny?" Sometimes you tell yourself a lie for so long, you forget when to stop.
I'm okay though with saying Rosillo would beat all of our asses because just a little life advice. Never fight a guy who spends way too much time thinking about who they could beat up.
That's a good point.
It's a fair point, right?
I would also say just never fight a guy whose clothes fit really well.
Yeah.
And Ryan's
Ryan's clothes fit really well.
Ryan goes like half sizes
Yeah.
because his weight fluctuates too depending on how strong his gains are that week. But he'll go to the store and he'll get like a half step up from a medium.
Yes.
So yeah, that guy that's a very dangerous individual.
Never fight a guy who won a battle to the death with a squat rack.
Yep, that's
That's
true.
another one.
That's true.
Like we go on and on of why we don't want to fight Rosillo because you know what? He's probably a fucking tough motherfucker. I'm saying this with all honesty. He would cave my skull in.
We're also just very good at cheating. So we would figure out a way to bend the rules and
Just not show up to the fight.
yeah. Good luck.
I did that with Jose Canseco.
Then you have to come to us.
You think that I worry about how I look of having someone fight in my place? I've proven that I am a big enough pussy to have someone else fight for me. That is on the record. So have fun with that. I'm going to, Willie Cologne's fighting for me.
The big question is which side does Chris Long join?
Oh.
We got to smoke him out before the
What
fight.
if we get Kyle? They get Chris.
Yeah.
No,
I would take Kyle. I think he's in better shape
Do you
right
know
now.
what? We fucked this whole thing up. Like, hey, guys, guess what? Let's do the fight. We just send Jake Marsh.
Boom.
He kick all their asses. 1
Alpha.
versus 3.
Alpha
Have
male.
fun with that. Come on.
Sportsmanship to death.
Yeah. But, Rosillo, it was actually very funny. We do love Rosillo. And he did.
I do love Rosillo too. I was just
You do
busting
love
balls.
Rosillo. I love Rosillo. But the yo-yo thing, they absolutely nailed about my weight. There was one other, hold on, I wrote it down. There's one other thing that did, I'll be honest, hurt my feelings a little bit. I think Rosillo said something like, what did he say? He said something along, they were talking about my yo-yo weight, and then he's like, yes, sometimes he's not exactly the best looking dude, talking about me. And I was like, did you have to say sometimes, like, did you have to go that far?
That's a compliment. That's
You
him
think
saying,
that is?
That's
All
a
right.
compliment. That's him saying like sometimes I really wish Big Cat would kiss fight me.
Yeah, that's true. That he's trying to get me to
Yeah.
kiss fight him. And
Kiss
you know
fighting.
what? Challenge accepted.
We should start a league where it's rough and rowdy except kiss fighting.
Well, we could play kiss ball.
Yeah.
You ever play kiss ball?
could play
Ryan, meet me, Santa Monica Piers, one game of kiss ball.
Kiss ball.
You throw
Game
a
on.
ball up in the air and you kiss the other guy as many times as you can until the ball lands.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever kisses the most wins. No, he said he's definitely not yoked. And he said, yeah, there's times when he has to ask himself. There's times when he sees pictures of me, he's like, he's kind of attractive, and then other times saying maybe not attractive. I was like, man, you didn't have to add.
Why
maybe
did
not.
Ryan say that he wanted to fight me?
No, I think the person threw that out. I think it was Billy versus Ryan, you versus Cerruti, which would be again.
Bloodbath.
I like Cerruti, but soccer fan, man.
Come on. I'm actually wearing a soccer jersey right now, but
That's true.
it's from the '94 World Cup in honor of Tony Miola.
I would imagine that Kyle
soccer
and I
player
would
of all
end
time.
up just probably like being like, let's smoke a joint and just watch them fight.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool with me too. Either way, that was my Fyre Fest of the week. Also, someone pre-clogged my toilet in my bathroom at the hotel. I don't know how that keeps happening. So that sucks.
Here for like 5 minutes.
Why? Yeah, I don't know how it keeps happening. I showed up and the toilet was clogged. I'd only gone once to the bathroom there and it was clogged. So that's crazy to me. I think it's a plot to pre-clog all my toilets. All right, numbers, and then we'll send everyone away.
95.
8. Billy's Fyre Fest is at Swag Kelly blocks him on Twitter.
Oh yeah, and Jake's is that his charger overheated.
No, that sounds
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
perfect.
His
you
his
sure
battery overheated, so he thinks his battery might be fried.
Are you sure we didn't mix those two up? I feel like yours is Billy's and
that's
mine
true.
is Jake's.
That's true. I would like to see release the DMs, Billy, because I'm guessing you said something to Swag.
Well, there was a guy that works in like CRISPR technology, like human genome altering shit, that had Billy blocked on Twitter. And when Billy got to meet him, he was like, "Hey, can you unblock me?" And he's like, "Wait a sec, you're the guy that kept repeatedly asking me if I could make a bigger frog." This was years before he worked here.
Yes.
Billy was just like literally harassing
Yes.
a guy on Twitter, asking him to make a frog slightly larger than the previous frog.
Yes.
But Billy, it's actually better, Billy, because you are rat poison for Swag Kelly. If Swag's ever going to get back in the NFL, he can't have you telling him how good he is all the time.
That's a fact. All right, numbers.
95.
97, 74, 74.
That would be freaky if it was 47.
See everyone on Monday.
Love you guys.